afternoon, we will cut to the top 5 in each for match play. Cutting, you guys hear me? Okay. Movement, we're doing something a little different. Movement, you're moving 4 pairs to your right. So that's basically 8 lanes over. So if you're on lane 1, you go to lane 9, 9 going to 17, so on and so forth. Score sheets. Score sheets, your individual score sheets. We only need your individual score sheets at the end of today. Okay? On your lanes, you have a lane summary sheet. We need that after each game. So somebody from your pair, please bring that up after each game for us to get the scoring in. Surface adjustments, getting a lot of questions about that. No surface adjustments once practice is over. Okay? Second round today, we are estimating to get that started about 2 o'clock. So please report to your starting lane at about 1:45, okay? 2 o'clock estimate for the second round today. Other than that, please. All right, we get the national anthem going here. Please report to your starting lane. Good luck in the bowling. We have Phil Satalski, I believe, today. Down there. No? Thank you, Bill.
Where's Curtis? Where'd Curtis go?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Wow, thank you, Phil.
Last turn play.
We didn't put it on.
Oh, okay. No worries. No worries. We'll figure it out.
Actually, we need it.
Not to start anyway.
On my score sheet. What letter?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll bring you cash tomorrow for 2 hours. I'll bring you cash tomorrow for 2 hours.
Thank you.
Just tell Sam.
Because I picked Marjorie.
Okay, bowlers, report to your lanes. They're going out to practice.
I just wanted to let you know to hold on for me.
Tell Sam, because she's
Okay.
doing the motion. Yeah.
No, she told me to talk.
You can just tell her to set it aside if you're going to pay for it tomorrow.
Introduce yourself first.
All right, welcome bowling fans to the EYT Battle Royale. I'm Riley Smith.
And my name is Mason Petrin.
We'll be giving you some commentary today. We're just starting up with practice. Got some good announcements from Diandra and her team. So as these youth bowlers are participating in practice, what do we have today, Mason? What are we
Today,
bowling
the
on?
first 3 games of this tournament, we're going to be competing on a 35-foot pattern. And pretty short pattern for these youth bowlers. Shortest one they'll be competing on this whole weekend.
What would you consider the scoring pace for this pattern? Do you think it'll be high, medium, low?
This one will probably be a little bit medium to lower on this, and the kids will probably do a little bit better once they jump to the medium and long patterns, in my opinion.
If any of the fans are curious of what patterns they are bowling on, it is on the EYT website. Go online and search Elite Youth Tour, and you can find the pattern through that link. So I have to start, Mason. I'm really excited. This is my first time commentating.
Yeah, definitely my first time too. Never done this before, so a little nervous, a little excited. See how this goes.
We are very excited, and this tournament has given us 115 bowlers throughout U12 boys and girls, U15 boys and girls, and U20 boys and girls. So this turnout is really, really incredible. We do recommend Facebook interaction between all of our fans through comments and get involved with questions, suggestions, anything that you might want to hear about. We want to make this inspiring, informational, motivational, and have a good time. So as a introduction, we'd like to get to know everybody that's with us and introduce ourselves. So we might be strangers to you guys right now, but we hope to be a familiar voice moving forward.
Yeah, we've known each other since we were about 13, 14 years old, bowling with each other for a long time and competing against each other throughout high school and college.
Yeah. We did have the pleasure of bowling together a couple of times. We won, I would say, plenty of tournaments together. We grew up in Wisconsin area. I'm from Kenosha, Wisconsin.
And I'm from West Bend, Wisconsin, a little bit north of Milwaukee.
Yeah, so through my youth career, I competed a lot in Wisconsin and the Chicago area. I then went to school. I attended McKendree University, which is in Lebanon, Illinois. I loved my time there. I spent 4 years there on the varsity bowling team. and now I compete. I've competed in some PBA regionals, some PBA events, high-level amateur, and just anything that I can get my hands on, I go bowl.
Yeah, and for me, grew up right around Milwaukee, bowled in a lot of Wisconsin, Illinois tournaments growing up. Decided to go and further my education and bowling career at Robert Morris University, where I graduated in 4 years and stayed around and stuck around to coach for a few more years after that. So definitely have a lot of knowledge we can share about the college path to get there and our experiences in college.
Yeah, that will be something we definitely touch on. It's a very important subject. I think a lot of viewers would be interested to learn, as this is a youth tournament. You know, how can you get your kids ready for college? How can you make practice meaningful? How can you get the recruiting process going and things like that? So I believe, Mason, you were a part of quite a few national championship teams.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be on a very successful team throughout all 4 years, and even as a coach. In my sophomore year, 2013, we won NAI National Championship as well as the ITC Intercollegiate Team Championship. And then in the junior-senior year, we won NAI both years, so that was a three-peat. And then as a coach, we took second in 2018 for the men's team, and then this last season in April, I helped the women's team bring back a national championship at the Intercollegiate Team Championship this year.
You've made a lot of TV time, huh?
Oh yeah, it's been fun. You've done pretty well yourself, though.
Oh yeah, so at McKendree, my freshman year, we made the TV show at the ITC Intercollegiate Team Championships. We took second place to the Robert Morris team. I think I'm familiar with that.
A little bit.
Then, fortunately, my senior year, which was 2016, I ended up making the TV show again, and it was redemption, coming full circle, and won the national championship. So it sent me out on top. I couldn't have, dreamt of a better ending to my college bowling.
Yeah, we definitely couldn't have done it with our teammates, and definitely without our coaches. Some great coaches at both of those universities.
We won't try to play any bias, but it is our background, so we do know the most about those. But so like I said, we'll be talking about college coming forward. We can give some insight on that, how we did it. Mason spent some time on the coaching end of it. Maybe give some tips on how to be a good recruit and what the coaches are looking for. So
if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. We'll be more than happy to answer them for you guys.
So we're coming up towards the end of practice here. Again, 35 feet that they're bowling on. This is a short pattern. It's going to be challenging. This is not your typical high-scoring pace. We're going to see a lot of shot making, a lot of spares being shot. And I noticed during practice here, a lot of the athletes are giving spare shots. They're throwing at 10 pins, they're throwing at 7 pins, and that's really important when you bowl in this challenging stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely got to work on spares. Spares are number one, especially on these short patterns.
All right, so we'll be here all day for qualifying. We'll be showing you lanes 21 through 24 with some glimpse of lane 20 and 25. You can see the follow-through of your favorite athlete if you're looking on those lanes. Who do we got up here, Mason? Do you have a list of bowlers that we're going to see?
All right, on lane 21, we've got Devin McKiskey, Faith Sprout, Bobby Hebetler, and on 22, we got Matt Dvorsky and Alyssa Campbell. Then on the other pair, we got Josh Luke Weems, Abigail Martin, Ivan Escolar, Austin Tagante, and Gemma Squires.
Oh, you read the one for good one. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. We were reading the 130 squad. So if you want to tune in for 130, that's who you will see. So a quick correction on that. On lane 21, Roman Caparo, Morgan Brunner, Darren Fraza. On lane 22, Anthony Andre, Haley Schwartz. On lane 23, Devin McKinsky, Faith Sprout, Bobby Hapletter. Lane 24, Matt Dvorsky, and Alyssa Campbell. So something interesting, Mason, that I just noticed. We have the guys and the girls, mingling on the same lanes. Typically in college, from what I've seen, it's all the guys will bowl on one side of the house and all the girls will bowl on the other side of the house. So it's going to be challenging to get to know each other's games. I'm sure some of these people have never bowled together.
Yeah, it'll be definitely different, but I can see where you can definitely get a good read off of everyone. Everyone plays the game a little bit different rev rates, throw it off their hand different. So getting a read off of everyone, maybe you could tweak your game if somebody's working a little bit better, and you can copycat them.
And not only that, we have the field is all spread out. So you might have a U12 bowler with a set of U20 bowlers, and U15 is also throughout there. But it's a great opportunity for the U12 bowlers to see what they can eventually become. They might look up to some of these U20 bowlers, and to be on the same pair as them, they get to watch them all day.
Yeah, definitely a great learning experience for the younger guys bowling with them. You can see how the older kids, especially some of these college players that are competing, how they attack the lanes, and definitely get a huge learning experience from all these guys.
That was always one of my favorite things. I'm not sure about you, but maybe you could bounce off this. But when I was bowling, youth, and every Saturday morning, I would bowl 3 games of league, and I was in we didn't have the really divisions. I was in the juniors and everything. So I saw the high school bowlers that were competing for state championships and things like that. And I always looked up to them. I would go to league, I would try to throw it like them, I would try to warm up like them and practice like them. So it's really good to have, I think it's really good to have these intermingle.
Oh yeah, it's great to see all the ages combine and bowl on the same lanes and same pairs with each other and against each other.
Yeah. So just another little introduction of what you'll be seeing today and what you'll expect to hear from us as commentators. As I mentioned, we want to bring some information to you. We want to bring some motivational content, maybe inspiring content, and then anything that you guys want to hear. We're not going to be the typical announcing of what's going on the lanes. throwing strikes and things like that. We are going to give some analysis on lane play, on what we see, but it's more of we want the bowlers to shine, and then give you guys some stories, give you some ideas, maybe teach you guys something while you're here. So that's the whole goal of it. We'll be presenting standings, talking about some of the big name players, individual players. We're going to try to get some interviews coming in, maybe from some of the parents, and see how they're feeling. Hopefully get some there's been talks of some pros that might be coming in. So stay tuned for that. I hope that comes true. And then, like I mentioned, college bowling, youth bowling, maybe the transition from youth to adult. Anything that really comes to mind. We're going to have some discussion and have some fun.
I mean, you're a photo guy. I'm sure you know pretty well. They don't. That is just the street. That's what they're seeing. That's the way. So your voice will go from what's facing there, so then it will go out in time with that. So I want to make sure.
One thing I also noticed here, these jerseys are, they're amazing. They're incredible. They're so creative. They look so good. All the bowlers out here are wearing dye supplemented jerseys, and they're looking sharp.
Yeah, a lot of them it looks like they have their Elite Youth Tour jerseys on, where they get through the tournament. When they come here, they can buy them when they sign in. There's tables set up where you can buy all the Elite Youth Tour gear. And a lot of these kids have said that they've bought it right here. Other ones that are from out of state, they said they've gone onto the Elite Youth Tour website where there's a high five gear tab, and that's what all the Elite Youth Tour jerseys are made from. That is from high five. So you can definitely go there and grab your own.
Yeah, they're custom designed for just this tour, and actually they had just this tournament custom designed as well that says Battle Royale throughout the design of the shirt. Yeah, in fact, the winner of each division today will be taking home their own high five jersey.
Yep, and it's a unique, one-of-a-kind Elite Youth Tour Championship jersey, and so that's another bonus that these kids are going to be competing for is another jersey to add to the collection.
Yeah, that's very cool. Put your name on the back of it, and then wear it around as a little bit of intimidation. Excuse me.
Show it off a little at the next one.
Yeah.
Saying you're a champion.
Yeah. Check it out. Look at me. I'm a champion. have some elite bowlers today. Before we started bowling, Diandra was giving some shout outs to a couple of the outstanding performances that happened in junior gold. And to start with, I would say 99% of this field was competing in junior gold. There was just a few that did not go, but the 99% of the field went. And of that field, maybe 40 or 50%, around that number, made the first cut at junior gold. And then the second cut, probably like 10 or 15.
Yeah, I'd say right around there.
And then actually on the TV show, there are 3 bowlers in this field that made the TV show. And that doesn't show you, the testament of how important it is to get out here and bowl these tournaments. I don't know what else you need.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're competing against 3 of these athletes that have made the TV show in their respective divisions out at junior gold, it just goes to show you that you're competing against the best at this tournament. So if you're looking to get some great experience against some great athletes, definitely get your friends and yourself to come out here and compete against them.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine if we were to ask any of these junior gold bowlers that, does this get you ready for junior gold? I mean, that's a no doubt overwhelming yes. We're bowling on 3 patterns this weekend, a short, medium, and long. It's almost unheard of. In one weekend you're going to bowl on 3 sport patterns. That's really incredible. So, I know junior gold also has unique playing surfaces, unique patterns and everything, and it's the same thing that you're going to see with EYT.
Definitely can't go wrong bowling a tournament like this. You don't see 3 different patterns too often at tournaments, especially within a weekend setting.
Yeah. It's a beautiful center that we're in too. Stardust Bowl here in Addison, Illinois. So 115 bowlers make up 42 lanes today. That's a huge field.
Yeah. You're going to be seeing everybody and competing against each and every one of these kids. So you definitely got to rise to the occasion and show up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The best part about having the 3 patterns is any given day, any given pattern.
Yeah. Yeah, the leader after today might not be the leader tomorrow just because it's a whole new pattern.
A lot of adjustments need to be made, and you got to be ready. And you're only coming here with X amount of balls. So whatever you brought from home, and if you're traveling from out of state, let's hope you brought the right ones and you can adjust correctly.
Yeah. Building that arsenal is always a huge question and a really good teaching point for a lot of the bowlers and the parents. Let's talk about that for a second. I think it's a good topic. Bowling ball arsenals. This is always a discussion before the bowlers go to junior gold, college tournaments, honestly any tournament that you bowl. Building an arsenal. What is the first thing that you're never, like, if you were to go through a checklist, Mason, what is like the first thing that you would think of?
I always have my benchmark ball, so I always bring in at least one that I know I'm comfortable with, because just like any other sport, you got to be comfortable and your mental game has to be there. And if you're struggling, you know what this ball is going to do no matter what. That's what I always start with. But I always try to make sure I have something that can cover the whole spectrum. I got a ball that I know will be solid on the short pattern or playing up the lane, and I'll have equipment all the way where I know I can wheel the whole lane and really be ready for almost anything that's thrown our way.
Yeah, the most important thing is setting up an arsenal to be versatile, right?
Yeah.
Because you are going to bowl on 3, maybe 4 different patterns in one weekend. And if you only have 5 bowling balls, or sometimes you can bring 6 bowling balls, you're limited in that aspect. So you really have to try to be versatile. That's a great point with the benchmark ball. You have to start right in the middle. Typically, this benchmark ball is in the middle of your arsenal. It doesn't have to be, but the thing that it has to be the ball that you know exactly what it's going to do when you throw it. You know that it's going to hook more or less. You know that it's going to hook if you play a certain part of the lane, and you just know that ball like the palm of your hand. The big reason you need that benchmark ball, because then you can go, after you see it go down the lane, you might be able to think, I need to switch balls to maybe the ball below that ball, the benchmark ball. Or maybe I have to switch balls to a ball stronger than my benchmark ball. It gives you that common ground, no matter what pattern that you ball on.
Yeah. Just the comfortability of knowing you can go to that one and you know you're going to get from it.
So what's the second step that you take? So we have our benchmark ball. You're building a 5-ball arsenal. I mean, my second, well, perhaps my first step, it's my most important ball. It's my spare ball.
Definitely. For me, I typically bring a urethane ball and use that as my spare ball because that gives me a little more versatility. It gives me another ball in the bag. So in case I have to throw the urethane, I know what it's going to do, short patterns especially, and I can flatten my hand out enough to not kick the 10s out and knock them down when I don't knock them down the first time.
You know, that's a great point that you just brought up about bringing a urethane ball to throw at your spares. It can be a challenge to switch from maybe if you're throwing a plastic ball right now, and then you want to try throwing the urethane at spares. It can be a challenge if you have a little bit of rotation and rev rate going down lane with the urethane ball. You're going to see a little bit of movement when you throw it a 10 pin. But if you get that ball going really, end over end or really forward, and you take out a lot of hand, it's going to go straight. So switching from plastic to urethane is a very, I think it's important as you get older and advanced, especially to the college level.
Oh yeah, because you're only limited, like you said earlier, to 5, sometimes maybe 6 bowling balls at a college tournament. You never know what you're going to hit there.
You never do, because they do not announce the patterns. You don't know what's going to be out there. And taking that extra spare ball out, so just having a urethane ball, now you have a spare ball and a strike ball that takes up 1 spot in your bag. That leaves you 4 options for a strike ball. Whereas before you have a spare ball, which is plastic, you can't really throw that at strikes. Now you have a urethane ball, and then you have 3 options for a reactive surface. So 3 versus 4 for strike balls is a huge, I would say, advantage.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't hurt to have that option there.
A lot of parents make the journey here. I mean, without them, they wouldn't. Their kids wouldn't be. The youth bowlers wouldn't be participating. It's awesome. I'm looking left and right. There's not an open seat to be seen right now.
A lot of people standing and watching. Even with the bleachers brought in, they're already packed in. Like you said, no seats available.
It's great to see, and the interaction. I'm gonna spend some time just over trying to listen in on some conversations and see what the parents are telling some of their kids as far as what maybe coaching advice or any tips that they want to give their youth bowlers. Motivational or information that they need to pass on. So we got some questions coming in on the live stream. We'll address these as they come in as best we can. We love the interaction. We prefer it. We want to have as much as we can. So drop a comment. We'll get to it. And we look forward to talking with you guys. So there's a question from Elizabeth Maz. Are we going to film other lanes? Right now we only have the capability to film 4 lanes in front of us, so we won't be moving. However, the bowlers will be moving. So they move 4 pairs after each game, and we'll give you guys a heads up of who's coming in next, who's currently bowling, and everything like that. So unfortunately, yeah, we only have 21 through 24. So the format for qualifying today, we're bowling 5 games on the short, and then at 1:30, so they get an hour break, they bowl 5 more games on a long pattern. And then tomorrow morning we come back and we bowl 5 more games on a medium pattern. They cut to the top 5 in each division, and for that top 5, it's going to be a match play format. I see my buddy Sean Bivey on the comments. Sean and I went to McKendree University together, and he just got announced as McKendree's graduate assistant. Congratulations.
just finished up with a 142 game, and his favorite bowling accomplishment is that here in 2019 he took first place at the USBC Open Championship for the 12 and under boys. So that's a pretty great accomplishment in itself. Congratulations to him.
Morgan just finished up on lane 22 with a 133. She does have a JTBA title underneath her belt. And one of her favorite things about youth bowling is that she's made a ton of new friends all over the country. She gets to meet so many new people. And through those connections, she's made a lot of new friends.
That's probably my favorite part about youth bowling, was meeting all these new bowlers and turning them into friends and long-term friends. Like,
Anthony finishing up here with a 163. Anthony is from Chicago, Illinois. He'll be graduating high school in 2022. I was impressed by his physical game, watching a couple of the shots that he threw. Hey, look at this. Darren, who just finished up, he's from Burlington, Wisconsin.
home state.
And he will be a part of the class of 2021. Haley's rounded up on lane 21 for us here. She's also from Wisconsin, in Beaver Dam. She took third at the state competition in Wisconsin. And her favorite part of youth bowling is the competition.
Exactly. Without the competition, you don't get better. You can practice all you want, but I think traveling around and competing against other youth bowlers across the country is huge. You definitely need that experience if you want to continue your bowling career.
That rounds out game one on our live stream pair. As we have a second intermission in between these games, I would like anybody that's viewing, do we have any, I want to get some names out here. So do we have anybody that has a child competing or maybe a family member that's competing? If you do, let's give them a shout out, whether it's on the live stream or not, just anywhere in the tournament.
athletes I look forward to watching today is Connor Pula. He is U15. He is the 2018 EYT Player of the Year. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching him compete today. As well as Jordan Landon. Jordan is this year's U12 Player of the Year for 2019. And he should be hitting our live stream there, I believe, in game 2.
A big name in the tournament also that I'm looking forward to is Jillian Martin. She, interestingly enough, we'll touch on some of the past champions of this EYT, but she led the U20 girls division at Junior Gold, and she's a U15 classified bowler.
Yeah, that itself was impressive, I thought. She skipped the 2 divisions to jump into the U20 to make the U20 Junior Team USA. For her to lead that field after deciding to skip the 2 divisions is extremely impressive. I'm sure college coaches are already waiting for her to come out of high school.
They can't wait to talk to her, I bet.
No.
All right, game 2 here. Let's get this on the roll. Who do we have coming in here? They're looking ready to bowl already.
All right. On our first pair, we have Dylan Murray, Judd Barron, Kyle Bowman, Danny Laban, Jasmine McKeel, Olivia Daujadas. And on our other pair, we have Zane Shakansi, Nicholas Maluski, Owen Jones, Cameron Crow, Lauren Schaefer, and Carolyn Backstrom.
Cameron Crow is a bowler to note who we did not mention in the bowlers to watch for. So Cameron was the 2019 Bowler of the Year in the U20 division. He just received that word this morning. It was not notified to anybody until this morning. So the most recent Bowler of the Year for EYT.
I'm sure that was a pleasant surprise to kick off his morning right before the tournament started.
Oh, yeah.
A little more confidence coming into it.
Yeah.
Not sure if he needs it.
The little interaction that I had with him, he's he's just a very happy, like high spirits, high energy, and a very respectful young adult. I mean, it was a lot of fun. He was taking pictures with some of our other staff members here. He's constantly, talking it up with his fellow youth bowlers, no matter what age they are. He's just having a blast, and he's really enjoying this experience.
Yeah, you can tell he loves coming to these tournaments and competing against all these players. Definitely something he said he looks forward to every year, coming to the Elite Youth Tour tournament.
So Cameron is one of the older competitors in this event. He's a part of the class of 2019 out of high school.
Here, let's watch his shot. He's about to go up on lane 24 right now. Let's see what he's got.
He's supporting the EYT champion jersey, sponsored by High Five.
One of a kind.
35-foot pattern, right up the gutter.
Yep. typically where you want to play a shorter pattern and proving why that's a great line to play.
He also just proved why he was bowler of the year.
Oh yeah, that was 10 back. No questions asked about that one.
You talked about power, accuracy.
He's got it all.
All right, this is awesome. We got some good interaction here with our amazing fans. Got a couple of shout outs to Anthony, who was on the previous Game 1 live stream. Little cousins, that's amazing. Makes my heart warm knowing that they're watching. We have some nephews out here that are competing. And then we have a question from Jim Henderson. So Jim is from Nebraska, and he's asking, how does he sign up his daughter? Well, it's actually really easy. There's a link in the EYT website. So if you go into Google search or your web browser, search Elite Youth Tour, and then it'll bring you to their homepage. When you're in there, you can go to the schedule. There's a couple ways when you're on the website. You can go into the schedule, and you'll see the list of events. And there's a big button that you can say, sign me up for this event. So you go through that, then you'll register. It's all done online then. And it's just kind of as simple as that. So just check out the website, spend some time, get to know it. And there's going to be a little questionnaire that's going to ask, the bowler's name, when they were, date of birth, male, female, the division, their graduating high school class, and then a couple of questions. So, what was their biggest bowling accomplishment thus far? And then, what is their favorite thing about competing and bowling in general? Archie Leach is wondering who's commentating. This is my favorite question because it's us.
Yeah.
I'm Riley Smith.
And my name is Mason Petrin. Thanks for the nice compliment. Thanks for making me sound good.
Good job. You guys are killing it. I was listening. Good. You don't feel good? Okay.
We just got good news. Diandra's going to join us.
Yep, she'll be here in about 5 minutes or so. And looking forward to having her.
Call your friends, call your significant others. We're going to have Diandra Asbaty on. One thing that we hope you do as a great fan of EYT is check, as you're on this Facebook, please share for all of your friends. We want this to get as big as we can make it. Right now we're in Addison, Illinois, but I know Diandra has very high hopes to take this much bigger and much, to a lot more places throughout the whole United States. So please do share. We want as many viewers as we can. We want to make this a fun podcast, fun little live stream. This is our first time doing it. It's very new to us. It's very fresh, but I'm having a blast. I think the bowlers are having as much fun as they can on those challenging patterns. The staff here is great. We're having a lot of fun. Smiles everywhere. So yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. I'm looking forward to the experience.
Yeah, the UYT is a great tournament, a great family to be part of. Glad they invited us to be part of it.
All right, so on this live stream pair, we talked about Cameron a little bit, who just stepped up and got a turkey. let's see what else we have going on. Who else is on this pair, and we'll give you some fun facts about them. With that in mind, do we have anybody watching our stream with maybe family or friends that are on this live stream pair? Drop it in the comments if you do. So we just saw Dylan Murray go up one frame ago. Dylan is from Orlando, Florida. He traveled quite a ways to come up to Chicago.
Yeah, that's quite a hike. And I think I was talking with Diandra earlier this morning, and she said there's about 16 different states competing at this tournament.
Incredible.
Wow, that's amazing. They have 110, 120 bowlers and from 16 different states across the country. That's amazing. And this is just the beginning. She's looking to build this house. It's about 70 lanes or so, like we said earlier, build 42 lanes. And she wants to fill all of this eventually.
She does. She mentioned that in the speech before the tournament. She wants this lane to be full from lane 1 to lane 70. An interesting fact about Dylan Murray is that he's got a brother, Gavin Murray, who's competing as well. So they both came up from Florida. Nice little family trip.
Make a weekend out of it.
So Dylan's competing in the U15, and his brother Gavin is competing in the U12. And we'll see Dylan stepping up on lane 21 in a moment here. Another fun fact, we have another set of brothers in this tournament. So Danny Labonte and Matthew Labonte, they're both competing in the U20 boys. On our stream right now is Danny, and they're from Oak Lawn, Illinois. I'd like to take this time to suggest Diandra will be joining us at probably the end of the 5th frame of this game. Throw some comments down. Throw some questions that you might have specifically for Diandra. This is a great time. She's looking forward to speaking to all of you and answering any questions and interacting with you guys. She's going to bring a lot of energy, great knowledge. I'm looking forward to having her. And drop a comment. Let her know what you're thinking or what you're wondering. Shonda, we appreciate your support and watching, and hopefully next time Nate can come. So Kira, who you now see on lane 23, I've never even heard of this city in Illinois. I'm going to try to say it. Shanahan, Illinois, it sounds like.
That would be my best guess.
I have not heard of that.
I know Wisconsin's got some funky names, but Illinois is right there with it.
She's a part of the class of 2021. Perhaps one of our younger bowlers stepped up on lane 23. A two-hander is part of the class of 2026.
got Nicholas. He's about to throw a ball in lane 23. And he's in the class of 2025. He's a two-time U12 Boys Eagle winner at the Open Championships, throwing another great shot there. And his favorite thing about bowling is how much he's made friends across the country, and that seems to be a common trend, is everyone's enjoying meeting everybody here and competing against them and making them into friends and long-term friends and keeping in touch.
We have another shout out to a set of brothers bowling out here. The Mitchell brothers. Latasha, hopefully next time you can join us out here. We do appreciate the support on following the EYT live stream though. Oh, there's a comment about the pattern playing pretty tough. It absolutely is. There's no doubt about that. This is it's a sport compliant pattern. So there's your typical house shot, which is the recreational high scoring pace. There's your challenge series, which is going to bring a little bit tougher conditions, a little bit tougher lane play than what the recreation would see. And then there's sport compliance, and that's what we're bowling on today, which is the hardest, of all bowling patterns that you can put on the lanes. It's 35 feet, almost 1.5 to 1 ratio, making it a very challenging pattern. So to begin with, being 35 feet, you have to get that ball pretty close to the gutter. I mean, that's hard enough in itself. The gutter is a mental block that's hard to get past. Along with that, with the ratio being 1.5 to 1, I mean, that is, you have to be accurate. So not only do you have to play the gutter, but you also have to hit your mark consistently.
Yeah, definitely not a lot of room for error on this. You got to be hitting your marks at the front of the lane and at the back ends of the lane. So we'll see how this goes. And like we predicted, this will be one of the tougher of the 3 patterns this weekend.
And that's okay. It's not a fault at all on the bowlers for, you're not going to see many 230 games and stuff. It's a challenge pattern. That's okay. All right, everybody. We're going to take a break here. Now coming in, we have Diandra Asbaty, who we've all been long waiting for. Please drop your comments and questions for her, as long as Curtis, he'll be joining.
Welcome to the Elite Youth Tour live stream.
Is that where we are?
We are. I'm Curtis Von Kruger, and with me, the mastermind, the founder of this wonderful event, Diandra Asbaty.
Hi, thanks for tuning in. Share it with your friends right now. Make sure you guys all share this. We want to show the world how amazing these Elite Youth Tour bowlers are.
It's funny. When you talked to me about this about a little over a month ago, I guess, you said we have some of the best youth bowlers coming from, 16 states, you said? 14 states. That is an impressive thing. And I've been to a lot of bowling tournaments in my day, but to come in here and actually see it in person, to see the quality of players that are coming out of this program, and to see already what they've accomplished, it's a pretty humbling thing. It's an amazing thing to see.
Thank you.
what started this for you? What was your thought process when you were like, hey, I want to start a youth tour?
Yeah, okay, so this is a true and real story. In 2012, I was on a plane going to Texas to bowl the USBC Queens. And in the air, because I'm always thinking of new ideas, I thought to myself, man, Jason Belmonte and I should start a youth tour, because bowling's given us so much, and we were doing a lot of coaching together around the world, and I thought we should do this. So I landed and I called him and I'm like, we should start a youth tour. And he's like, okay, let's do it. And that's literally how it began. And then I went on to win the Queens. So in general, that week was really good for
Solid
me.
week.
Yeah, it was
Solid
a really
week.
solid week. So I was inspired before that week, and then I'm a type of person that will come up with ideas, and I have no idea how to do them, but I just figure it out along the way, and I align myself with the right people that have a similar vision and that really truly care about youth bowling, and that is why this exists, because there's a team of people that have a soft spot for youth bowling, and we figured it out. We formed a real nonprofit. We're a 501c3, and that was really important to me because I wanted everyone to know that this is not for anything except these kids, and everything goes back to them. And we started in 2012, and here we are in 2019, and stronger than ever. We have over 100 bowlers today. I'm super proud of it. Jason isn't as involved as he was, because I don't know if you know this, but he's the best bowler in the world, and he has three kids, and so our lives look a little different than they did in 2012, but he really helped me get this started, and I'm so grateful that he did. We have some really great sponsors that have aligned with us, and I have been able to see some really great youth bowlers that started at my first tournament in 2012 that like Mabel Cummins, who's off to Vanderbilt bowling, is going to be bowling in college. She bowled my first event ever, and she was my winningest bowler at like 22 titles, elite youth tour titles. She's on junior team USA. She just got back from the youth world championships, and I got to see her bowling develop throughout all these years. And so for me, this is more than just watching good bowlers bowl. This is about the friendships they're making, the community that we're building, giving back to the sport, and creating true leaders in bowling.
Well, and that's a point that you've always kind of, you kind of stressed and emphasized, was the need to create leaders in bowling. The next generation, the people that are going to take up the mantle when, we all retire from this great game, and creating that next generation, but also creating a pipeline that bowlers can start to put themselves in. This is a pipeline to junior gold. This is a pipeline to college. This is a pipeline eventually, hopefully, to the pros for some of these kids.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like when I look out here at all of this talent, it's like foreshadowing. I can imagine these kids as grown-ups bowling out on tour. Because why not? Why not them?
Well, I mean, look at it like this kid Cameron right here.
Yeah.
About to bowl up on lane 23.
Bowler of the year.
Bowler of the year, and he just lefty that just absolutely straps. Oh, he's a righty. He's a righty. No, he is a lefty. I thought so.
Two-handed lefty.
Just straps on it.
Great attitude.
He's going to be playing the ditch here on this short oil pattern. And look at the ball motion he gets.
He's got a good game going, too.
Oh, look at that.
He's playing them right, It's a tough pattern. He's doing the right thing, and he's good. He's hard to beat. He's won a bunch of elite tour events. He's our reigning U20 boys, which is a very tough division, bowler of the year.
He is on he can bowl 255 if he goes sheet, which, based on the reaction I just saw, that's probably not out of the question.
Yeah.
Talk with his dad for a second.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I complimented him on his game, and he's like, yeah, he throws it great. Consistency is you got to develop consistency is the next thing you got to develop. You throw it great.
He seems pretty consistent to me.
Based on what I'm
but
seeing.
Mom and Dad are always going to be hard.
They're a little hypercritical, maybe. But that's something like this helps you develop that consistency, because I looked at the oil patterns yesterday, and I think I told you exactly, you don't take it easy on these kids.
No, and sometimes They're really, really hard, and I don't even intend them to be that difficult, but I tell them after the tournament, I'm like, you guys don't like me today, but you will thank me later because you will have learned something through these struggles that you'll be better because of it. And I'm not interested in seeing a ton of high scores. I'm interested in seeing really good spare shooting. I'm interested in seeing people that understand lane play and transition. So I think with 5 games of block, you're going to see transition happen, and having 3 different patterns is going to also allow them to show off their versatility.
Well, I mean, even on the PBA Tour, which I've spent a lot of time out on, and I've seen a lot of players that...
Why is that? What did you do there? Tell us your story, Curtis.
I've been out on the PBA Tour on and off since the early 90s. Through several different means, but now I'm out there helping with a bunch of different stuff, mainly live streaming out on the PBA Tour. So this was a good opportunity for me to give back to the bowling community and help establish this live stream here for you guys.
Well, thank you. On behalf of everybody in this building and everywhere EYT reaches, thank you for believing in what we're doing and for taking time out of your very busy schedule to spend the weekend with us and set up our live stream. But now we know how good you are, and we're going to need you to come back.
Oh yeah, I'm not busy. I'm never busy. I do no traveling ever.
He's out on the PWBA tour, you guys, and he's creating amazing video content of the women now, and that's how we've become friends. And his dad is the director of the PBA. You might have heard of Kurt Von Kruger. So, yeah, you come from a long line of bowling awesomeness.
I do. It's been, and like I said, bowling has given me a lot back, and something I'm very thankful for. And so again, it's nice to pay that forward and help develop this next generation of bowlers, and giving them the exposure that they need. Because bowling is something that brings us together. It's something that develops a community.
I always say that. Bowling
Yes,
brings people together.
it
Look at all
does.
these lovely people in this building together. And a lot of them met through the Elite Youth Tour. They're very, they've created bonds with each other. They hang out at Junior Gold. The parents become friends and they hang out. And it's such a wonderful community of amazing people. So I'm happy to be a part of it and to build it. And I thank you guys all for tuning in. Please share this with your friends and show the world what the Elite Youth Tour is all about. We are in Addison, Illinois, right outside Chicago, on a very beautiful day. But you know what? There's no place I would rather be right now.
Absolutely.
You're lying.
I'm here, aren't I?
Because you committed. Just kidding.
I had a lot of choices.
And I had a lot of choices too.
So, looking forward, where would you like to see the Elite Tour go?
Well, I would love to travel. I would love it to be a traveling tour. I would love to have more than one a month. I would love there to be a lot more scholarship money involved, which means we need more sponsors. And speaking of sponsors, we're looking for some sponsors to be the sponsor of this Elite stream, our live stream. So if you or anyone you know is interested in becoming a sponsor of the Elite Youth Tour, please contact us. I'm easy to get a hold of, Diandra at eliteyouthtour.com, or you can send a message through our Facebook page. But I think the sky's the limit. I would like to focus more on the leadership aspect of the Elite Youth Tour, where I have workshops for these kids, how to build your resume, how to become a leader, maybe have guest speakers come in. Maybe Dr. Dean can come in and talk about the sports psychology side of bowling, and there's so many ideas in my brain, but they all require some more money, some more sponsors, but it's also a building. We're just building. We're continuing to build and to grow. So I have high hopes.
Well, you've already grown it with 115 people in this field.
Yeah.
That is an incredible accomplishment.
From so many places. You're welcome, Cameron. You're welcome. Good game.
Nice game. You throw it all right, son. You throw it all right. Cameron coming in to say hi to us.
And give us credit for
Give
his
us-
240. You're welcome.
It was all us.
Yeah.
It's all us. We're going to take, but if they bowl bad games, it's never our fault.
Nope.
Never our fault. Although, I have noticed that my whammy skills are still in full effect.
Yeah, they are.
I thought it was just on the PWBA tour and the men's tour,
You
but
carry
no.
You carry that black cloud around everywhere you go.
Yes. Such a pleasant disposition to have a black cloud surround me.
You know what? It's not you.
No.
You're just easy to blame.
Hey, I'll shoulder the blame. I have no
Yeah.
problem with that. So we're on the short oil pattern, and it is playing. It is playing very tough. You see a lot of kids trying to find lines, and it's hard. It's really
hard. And you know what's what's even harder than trying to find where your strike ball needs to go is figuring out how to shoot spares, because really, if you don't feel very lined up for your first shot, making your spares becomes a lot more difficult, especially multiple pin spares, because you're not going straight at them a lot of the time. And for me, if I'm not lined up, I mean, there's so many spare combinations that I move off of my strike ball.
Yes.
And if you're not lined up, spare shooting gets to be a lot harder, a lot trickier.
Take me through, when you were, because there's been some really low scoring paces out on the PWBA tour this year.
Yeah.
Take me through your mental process when you realize that it's going to be a grind. What's important to you? What do you feel like are the keys of your success are to kind of get your mind ready to prepare for that grind?
I think that's a really good question, and I think the answer is being patient. And that's not something that comes easy to any competitive athlete, because we want what we want, and we want it right away. And if we're not seeing what we want to see, it's very easy to freak out. So for me, it's patience. It's if I don't have a look, I don't try to over try. I just try to think clearly. And I coach a lot of people, and the one thing that I say to a lot of my students that I coach is, you have to bowl almost like robotically, in the sense where you throw a shot and you process the information. You don't react to it. And so we have to take our heart out of it, which is really hard, because I am all heart.
You are
but
all heart,
when I
yes.
throw a shot and I throw it out the window, instead of thinking, oh my God, I'm such an idiot, I just threw the worst shot of my life, what do I practice for, and all these negative thoughts, instead of doing that, I process what happened and I figure out why, and the next shot is better because of it. And so if these youth bowlers could truly understand how to do that, and the ones that I work with, I'm starting, doesn't matter. I have a 9-year-old that I coach, and I try talking to a 9-year-old about his reactions and feelings and emotions. It's very hard, but if you can get them young,
Last cage of emotion.
yes, if you can help them young, then they start understanding how powerful your mind really is, and it can make or break you. In the case of bowling a 280 game and having that high and having it affect your next game in a negative way, to bowling a 112 and being frustrated. So if you can react less and almost kind of take your emotion out of it and look at it truly like a computer, like you're processing information and then not reacting towards it, but using the information and applying it to the next frame, that's a huge tip. I'm giving all of my secrets out.
Hey, and you're very forthcoming with the information
Yeah, of course.
you have.
Yeah.
So, and it seems to me that, and you mentioned it, the idea of being able to keep your head on straight, not react emotionally, and pick up your spares, that seems like 50-60% of the battle.
It's
right
so
there.
much of the battle, and to let it go. Like whether you bowled 300 or you bowled 100, to be able to actually let it go, leave it on that pair, and move to the next pair and forget about it. That's so key, because you're able to then stay in the present. And so many times we're looking at our score, trying to figure out if I strike out, then I can shoot 230, or I didn't strike out, or I didn't strike the next shot. Okay, now I can shoot 210. Trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future is never going to help the present.
Absolutely not.
So that's key. It's key whether you're a league bowler or recreational bowler or tournament bowler or the best bowler in the world. if you can stay in the present and really truly focus on what you can control, like you can't control what anyone else is doing, so why are you looking around? The only reason that you would look around is to get information. If you're lost, figure out who's killing it, stand behind them and see what they're doing. Collect that information and move on. But don't look at their score and try to figure out how many back you are. That's never going to help you.
Because you can't. The funny thing is, you can't control what that other bowler is doing.
Yeah.
You can only control, what you can control. So stressing out about that is only going to make it more likely that you don't execute like you want to.
Yeah.
And you make a good point. You talk about, everybody thinks about, oh, well, I got to keep my emotion checked when I bowl that 150. But a lot of people don't realize that emotional rush you get when you bowl a really good game.
Yeah.
And being able to say, okay, that doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
And putting that behind you. So I think that's a really good point to kind of put out there is being able to control your emotions. And some of the best in the world. You will see, now, there are some who excel at emotional reactions, but they are a lot fewer and far between than the guys who stay even-keeled. Look at a guy like Walter Ray, Parker Bone, Norm Duke,
Oh, yeah.
Jason Belmonte.
Yeah.
You never see him get too
Up or
too
too down. Yeah.
You see him stay, and he's done all right for himself.
He's done all right.
He's done okay. And so I really, keeping those emotions in check, and this is kind of one of those places where you get to start to do that because it's going to emotionally challenge you. It's going to put you under stress. It's going to test every aspect of your game.
And it's so hard because, nobody wants to fail.
Nobody
and
wants to
so
fail.
when you throw a bad game or you bowl a bad block, you feel it in your heart, and it does hurt. It physically hurts. And
It does.
so how do you overcome that? And my answer is understand how your brain works through the mental game, through books. I remember my first mental game book when I was 12. I read, it's called The Mental Game by George Allen. It was actually specific to bowling, but since then I've read so many, and a lot of them actually are golf. Golf mental game books are so easy to apply to the bowling game, and Golf is a Game of Confidence by Bob Rotella, or Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. All of those things that I've read, and also my favorite mental game book is The Mental Game of Tennis, The Inner Game of Tennis by Timothy Galway. And you guys write these books down and go and get them for yourself or for your kids, because that is going to make all the difference. Understanding how to deal with pressure situations, how to relax your heart when it's beating out of your chest, how to breathe. I mean, we think we know all those things, but under pressure, things become a lot more difficult.
Oh, absolutely. Everything ratchets up, and you create that pressure environment here. They see the winners' banners. They see the people getting the awards. They see the place this can lead. So it emulates this. And like I said, I'm around a lot of tournaments every year, and the environment feels similar. You've done a really great job of emulating and kind of getting these bowlers ready to take that, whatever that next step may be.
That was the idea, is making this the most professional youth tour out there, where there's a dress code, there's a no tolerance for bad behavior, and these kids are very well behaved. They represent the youth tour, they represent themselves, and every single month I talk to them about how important their attitude and respecting their environment out here is. And we create our rules around professional bowling rules, and so they can be ready, and when it's time for them to move up and out, it feels familiar to them because they've been doing it since they were 12 years old.
Absolutely. And when you if you do go out on the PBA tour, and you have to interact with the tournament director out there.
Oh man, that guy.
He is a tyrant, absolute tyrant. But they don't. There's no slack.
What are some of the things they can get fined for out there besides
obvious things like hitting a ball return?
Yeah. And swearing.
Excessive profanity. Just bad sportsmanship. You can.
What about dress code?
Absolutely, 100%. You have to wear slacks. You have to wear a nice shirt. You can't have, you can't have necessarily sneakers inside the bowling center. So there's a lot of things you have to carry yourself, because they do understand that they are representing bowling at the highest level.
Yeah.
And there's no room for bad representation. And obviously things happen, but you want to, if you can instill those values young, right? Because the guys like me, I didn't have something like this when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
But I was lucky to learn from some of the best. Other kids didn't have that advantage, so they didn't develop that sportsmanship, and we're giving out a Sportsmanship Award today or tomorrow.
Courtesy of Jason Belmonte's offering a storm ball of choice to the participant that is the most sportsman, like voted on by the peers here. So, and that's something that I've always.
Well, that's how they do it out on tour.
Oh yeah. It's really important to me to be able to acknowledge those that are nice and are doing the right thing, and that their peers think so. And I grew up in Northwest Indiana, and I bowled a lot of tours. I bowled the Indiana tour, the Ohio tour, the Michigan tour, Wisconsin, and I know because of all of my experiences and all those tours that this is something that I wanted to build because it really impacted my life, and it really set me up to bowl on the highest level of bowling. And so,
which you did pretty well.
I did okay.
You did okay.
I did okay, but
World Bowler.
Yeah, World Bowler of the Year for 3 years, and I have those youth tournament tours to thank. I couldn't have done that without them because they prepared me. I failed and figured it out and moved on and won and lost and won. And learning to win.
1,000 no's before you get a yes.
Yeah, learning to win is so much. It's so important to learn how to lose, but also to learn how to win.
Let me tell something to all those bowlers out there. There is nothing wrong with honest failure.
Yeah, for sure.
Fail.
And you have to be real with yourself. Like, I'm a very accountable bowler. If I don't bowl good, I'm not making excuses. I'm like, you know what, I just didn't feel right today, and I didn't bowl well, or something was off, and I'm just take a true and real look at my my game and what and if you can do that. Hey, Scott, do you have a score? Somebody bring scores. Also, I want to point out that in front of us, we have a little bit of a superstar. I'm going to show you when she's up again. She made the Junior Gold U12 TV show.
Oh, wow.
Which
all right.
Is beating a lot of people. So I'm going to... She's going to be bowling. Her name is Gianna Brandolino, and she's got the cutest little braids in her hair. And I was so proud of her and Abigail Starkey. They both made the U12 Junior Gold show. There she is. Right there. I've seen her. I've coached her. I've seen her for many years, and I
like that kid's name. Curtis.
With a C.
With a C, but it's all right.
Yeah. He is hashtag Team Scrub. We should ask him what's about that.
Yeah. I wonder what
He's
that
got bubbles on his jersey,
nice.
too.
I like it. I like the jersey. It's a good, solid jersey, solid color choice.
Yeah. We got Bailey Delrose on 23. She's a Elite Tour champion, lefty. Lanes don't look easy for sure.
No, you can see them reading super early.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these kids are afraid to move out.
Yeah.
Because you have to get zonally, you have to be outside.
Yeah, and you should be really up the back. You don't need to help it hook here.
No, you don't.
You need to kind of control the lane by going up the back with maybe even a rolly ball. And a lot of times people think, oh, the lane's hooking so much, I need a ball that's like curl or skiddy, and you don't. It's the opposite. You want a ball that rolls, that's going to eat away the energy of going down the lane.
Yeah, you want it to stop.
Yeah, you want it to stop. Oh, here's Gianna. She's on lane 22. Let's see what she's doing.
Got that in a little bit.
And it's taken off.
And that's what you see, like you try to make that zonal move inside, and that early hook, the short oil pattern is just gonna make it read super early, and you've seen a lot of that. But even if you move outside, you're gonna get some of that carry down, and like that skid, and it's gonna push it through its break point, like you saw right there on lane 23.
Yeah.
Thank you for proving my point. But again, that just goes to show you that this isn't a house shot, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
This is a low, and you mentioned spare shooting.
Yeah, and so, like I said, when you're not lined up for your first shot, the second shot tends to be a lot more difficult. But I think she knows that this is a long tournament, and it's really important to also know that, you know what, maybe this isn't your favorite pattern. but the next squad's on a different pattern, and so you're never really truly out of it. We're trying to get you some scores. I know a couple of people have asked.
We will have a scoring update as soon as possible. Get you a little.
Mason, can you try to get scores? Ask. Mike. Or anyone. If you guys have any questions about anything, the tournament, or me, or my journey in bowling, or Curtis. Curtis is really cool too, and he has spent a lot of years on professional tours. His dad was actually a bowler in the PBA. He doesn't just is the director of the PBA, but he actually bowled on tour back in the day.
Yeah, we can now officially call it back in the day.
Yeah.
It's officially back
Pat
in the
Brown
day.
he's watching our live stream when he should be here, but he's going to his fantasy football draft. So whatever, Pat.
Whatever, Pat. It's all right.
It's all right. We'll do your work for you.
Don't reach for a quarterback. Wait. Oh, wow. Nice loft. Trying to take the front end of the lane out of the play. Again, you just see the early read.
You can feel the intensity of everyone. Okay.
There.
We almost have scores, you guys, so just hang tight. If you guys have any questions, now's a good time to ask. And thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for your comments.
Now's a good time to mention our sponsors. Storm has always been a big sponsor of the Lead Tour from day one. They offer the champions a Storm Ball of choice, and they contribute to our raffle that we hold every month. Turbo grips. They offer the runners-up Turbo prize packs.
I saw the prize packs.
They're
I
cool,
wanted
right?
one of the
You want
prize
one?
packs.
Maybe I can help you with that.
I don't know.
Bowler's Journal gives the champions of each division Bowler's Journal subscription for a year. Are you subscribed?
To Bowler's Journal?
Uh-oh, that's a no.
Wow, I just got called out.
We've got High Five gear that gives all the champions their jerseys and does our awesome flags that you see hanging by the pins. We also have Gail Voshall. Gail Voshall is our main financial sponsor. He's just a guy from Delaware that believes in youth bowling, and he finally was able to come out to this event this weekend. This is his first Elite Youth Tour event, and I'm so proud to show him what he helped build. I'm so glad that he's here.
We all thank Gail. Great to meet him yesterday. Catch a White Sox
We went
game.
to the White Sox game. It was in a suite, and it was pretty sweet.
It was pretty sweet. We watched the White Sox take one home.
Yeah, and it was Elvis night.
It was Elvis night, and they had a lot of mutton chops.
I wish I would have known.
Floating. Oh
that
yeah, we
could
could have.
So
Oh my
funny.
God, we should have.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity. I could have shaved it down. It would have been absolutely horrendous, but it would have been fun. It would have been fun.
That would have been fun.
So it's a pretty good pace they're going on right now, and you can tell like every single bowler is dialed into what's happening on the lanes right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They are in it. They're
Or they're
ready
trying
to go.
dial in.
Well,
Uh-oh. Yeah, so the secret and the key to this pattern is to not try to get your ball to hook. Not play the angle, but get your ball to be more of like a banana shape. And so you do that by, like we said, balls that are more aggressive, getting close to the gutter. Because so many kids I see are in this zone where they're like,
over under.
They're not like totally far in, but they're not right. And so they're in this middle zone where they're going to miss the head pin right, but then if they cut it short, the pattern is so short that it's going to hook right away.
Yeah, and you can get into that over-under, and that way, like the 150s and 160s happen really fast.
And it's also important to note that, they could change their surface during practice, and every pattern that we're going to put out is going to be different. So it's important to use that use it. You get your Abralon pads out and adjust the surface to your bowling ball, because really it's not just one bowling ball, but you can get that one bowling ball to act how many different ways.
Oh, we'll say way back in the day, surface on equipment was paramount. Like,
Yeah.
there wasn't
Because there wasn't as much technology.
There wasn't as much technology, and guys didn't drill. I mean, they drilled a lot of stuff, but I remember being back in the tour back in the, like 93, 94, and you would be on a ball spinner for 6 hours a day if you wanted to, spinning equipment, resurfacing equipment, because you know, between squads, guys would be changing surface. Oh, I'm playing on the burn. I'm gonna add some polish. Like, so.
I don't think a lot of kids are there yet, and so if you can be one of those youth bowlers that consider changing the surface of your ball and not being scared to do it, because you can always bring it back, then you're going to be so ahead of the game, because you're going to give yourself so many more options. And I see a lot of ball surfaces that could be a little bit better right now.
Yeah, and it's people's inclination to just immediately change balls. Right?
Exactly, yeah.
Change balls. And like you said, if you're in a certain part of the lane, it doesn't matter what your ball roll is like, it doesn't matter what ball you really have in your hand, it's going to be hard to find area. And area, you really need to create area front to back, and if you're in the wrong zone, it's almost impossible to do that, as we hear a foul light go off.
Yeah.
It's fun. Nice conversion
That's
there.
Luke Spitulski. His dad sang the national anthem. Did you catch that?
Yes, good job.
He sings the national anthem sometimes for the White Sox or the Cubs. He's done it for the Bulls, and he always offers to do it here, and I just think that's such a nice touch.
Well, and again, it shows the community. Everybody wants to contribute to what's going on here, what's being built, and it's infectious. It makes you want to be a part of it, and you know, thank you. I'm glad I'm a part of this.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's my last event ever, though.
Oh no!
Never coming back.
I don't believe you. You won't be able to stay away now.
Oh, watch me. No, that's probably true. I like watching great bowling, and this is an opportunity to watch great bowling, even though I do it for 35 weeks out of the year.
And what's one more?
What's one more?
No, but this is like.
This is a reward here. This is something special. Oh, come on, yeah. It's always nice when you trip out the 136 there on 24. He'll take that strike. Doesn't look any different on the scorecard, I promise.
I know, right? 100%'s 100%.
Hey, no asterisks right there. So, we've really talked a lot about how this sets you up for the pro leagues. But let's talk about the next step a lot of these bowlers are going to take.
College.
And that's college,
Or
right?
some of them high school.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, high school bowling is really big in Illinois.
It's really big. Starting to become, high school bowling is the fastest growing high school sport in the country.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are straying from the traditional quote unquote sports powerhouses for a myriad of different reasons, but bowling offers, one, the scholarship opportunities for bowling are immense. You have an opportunity to go to Division I school, and like you did, you went to Nebraska.
University of Nebraska on a full ride. And so my parents sacrificed so much when I was a kid, taking us to all these tournaments around the country. The least I could do is like repay them, and I felt so great that I was able to get a full ride from the University of Nebraska. It was the first year that they went NCAA for bowling, and at that time there weren't even enough teams to have an NCAA championship. Now there's so many, and so it's growing at a really rapid pace, and the female youth bowlers need to know there's so much opportunity out there to go and get those scholarship dollars and be a part of an NCAA program.
Well, I always love that picture of you guys behind the lanes, linking arms.
Yeah, it was for a national title.
For a national title, while Shannon Pluhowski rolls that shot for the national title. The intensity in your eyes, you could tell it was everything to you.
Yeah, it was everything, because you train every day with these teammates, and you see them day in and day out, and you pour your hearts out together, and then it comes down to the end in the national championship. And there's so many great teams that want to bowl to be the ones in the end, to be the national champion. There's only one. And I was able to win it 2 times, which I'm so grateful for, because those are some really great memories.
Tell me, And that's an interesting point. I mean, that's an amazing and incredible feat, and obviously Coach Straub and everything like that they do over there at Nebraska has found tons of success. They've won lots of national championships since, and you see a lot of the PWBA players out there, Nebraska, Nebraska grads.
Huskers.
How do you feel like collegiate bowling prepared you to go on and have that? Now, you didn't have necessarily the opportunity to bowl out on the PWBA tour, but you had an opportunity to do some pretty incredible things worldwide. How do you feel like collegiate bowling prepared you for that? And then to piggyback on that question, how do you feel like the EYT is preparing people to make that transition to college?
Yeah, well, to your first point, I think collegiate bowling was the first chance that I had to understand what it was like to become a teammate and to bowl with others, because I didn't have high school bowling when I was in high school. I bowled in high school individually, but the real team bowling came from college. So I learned a lot about how, there's lots of different personalities. Not everyone's going to see it the way that you do, but to have the respect for everyone, to be able to come together as a team and accept our differences, and to be stronger because of them, actually. And so then going on from college bowling and what I learned to make Team USA for 15 straight years, I was
just 15.
It was just 15 years, but I traveled the world and I bowled with some really amazing teammates and I had so many great coaches. And so I think everything that bowling, every level you're at in bowling is setting you up for the next one. And so collegiate bowling helped me prepare for Team USA and to bowl on the highest level of team bowling. And I definitely want to wish my girls in Vegas bowling the World Championships for Team USA this week in Las Vegas good luck, because I had the honor of bowling multiple World Championships in Abu Dhabi and Malaysia and Mexico and Denmark, and I know they're going to represent us well, and I'm so excited to watch them win some gold medals this
We have some pretty good bowlers. Got some pretty good bowlers on Team USA. They're pretty high. All right, hey y'all. Guess what we have?
Scores!
It's standings time.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, we have in the U20 boys, after 2 games, Alex Acosta, who has won many elite youth tours, he's at 486. And then Edward Zarowski, 422. Brandon Caruso, I think this is his first tournament in the U20. Brandon Caruso made the TV show in the U15 at Junior Gold a couple months ago. Cameron Crowe, who is that powerful lefty that we were watching a little bit ago, 394 in 4th. And in 5th, Cadence Starry, 385. Scores are not super high.
No, they are not. It's really about consistency. Again, picking up your spin. How many times have you seen out on the PWBA tour, you miss a cut by 5, or you miss a cut by 7, you miss a cut by 1?
How about get count, too?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Super important.
And then you think about all those times, all those opportunities. And you know what? You can be, if you didn't miss a single makeable spare, you can pat yourself on the back and say, hey, you know what? It wasn't my week. But if you had a missed makeable spare that you missed, and you missed the cut by less than 10,
well,
that's on you.
Yeah, totally. All right, U20 girls, there's only one girl plus, and I'm not shocked to say.
I'm not surprised.
It's Jillian Martin. She's at 439.
Ooh, she's already building up a nice little cushion.
And also first EYT in the U20 division. She's been only bowling in the U15 division. So, little note about Jillian, for those that don't know, she bowled the Junior Gold. She was supposed to be in the U15 division, but she wanted to make Junior Team USA, and you can only do that from the U20 division. So she opted to bowl in the U20 division and made Junior Team USA. So that is super impressive. Amazing. Okay, second in the U20 girls, Barbara Lunsford, and then Kaylee Bass at 381, and Gemma Skewers, Brooklyn Gagnon from Sioux Falls, South Dakota in 5th.
So cool to see those different states in there: South Dakota, Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee.
Yes.
Oh my,
Michigan.
Wisconsin, Michigan, Wisconsin.
In the U15 boys, This is pretty cool. There is also only one person that is plus, and it's Landon Jordan. Also, his first tournament in the U15. He's been in U12 since I've known him. So he's at 407. Kyle Pranger, 369. Donovan Lake, who I coach, he's in third. Caden Pranger in fourth with 350. And Judd Barron in fifth. 337. All right, in U15 girls, we have Savannah Dixon in first, 354. Abigail Starkey is 353. In second, Gianna Brandolino, 342. In third, Isabella Colon, fourth, 330. And fifth place, we have Paige Rawlings right now in 320 with a 327. And the U12 mixed division, we have Gavin Murray, first place. Oh, he's killing it.
He's at
Hang on.
416.
I need to find him and watch him. He's a
What's going on here?
They flew in from Orlando.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I need to go and check him out for sure. He's at 416, and the second place is 282. That is not a mistake.
That's U12. This is not U15 or 20. It's U12. Gavin Murray averaging a little bit, actually averaging 208 right now without his third game in the books. It'll be interesting to see how he plays with transition, because transition hasn't hit super heavy for these bowlers yet, but you know it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, let's see who can jump on it. In second place, we have Zane Shakensi at 282, and then third place, Roman Caparel and Alex Zarlingo in fourth. And then fifth place is Lila Williams. She's the only girl in the U12 mix, so I'm rooting for Lila for sure.
Come on, Lila.
Go, Lila.
Let's go. Holding her own.
Oh, wait a minute. Switch it up.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure kind of touching base and putting our thoughts out here. We're going to let them get back to the action.
Yeah.
It's enough about us.
Enough about us, but it's been fun.
It has been fun, and we
come back.
might come back.
We will come back.
All right,
and
we will come
if
back.
you're watching this right now and you haven't shared it, you should go and do that right now.
Please.
Help us, help them, and spread the news of the Elite Youth Tour. And thanks for tuning in. You guys are amazing. We're going to pass it back to our official live stream commentators, Riley and Mason. They're doing a great job.
All right, and
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Hey-o, we're back. Riley and Mason.
All right, it looks like we're just finishing up game 3 here. Got some scores coming together, it looks like. We got Alex Acosta with another great shot, the 2018 EYT Player of the Year.
I was watching.
U20.
I was watching him as Diandra and Curtis took over, and he had a rough start. Pocket 710. That's really deflating. But then he bounces back. He was searching. He was trying to find something. He made a couple good shots. He got a 9 spare in there. Then he opened in the next frame, but then he's just battling, and that's where he gets that turkey in there. He makes another good shot, 9 spare. Now look at him, he's going to strike out and almost get to 200. That is a battle. That is what college coaches like to see.
Oh yeah, that is exactly what college coaches are looking for, and really at any level in any sport, but especially in bowling. Can't let the bad shots get to you, the bad breaks. Make your shots, make your spares, get the count you can, move on. Execute the next shot.
Yeah, let's see what he does here. It looks like he did not make, or he may have moved a little bit on the fill ball, which is a smart thing to do. Kind of test what the waters are. Looks like he might have moved a little bit left on that shot.
Yeah, definitely. If you get the opportunity, especially on a double, test the lanes a little, see if you can find something a little bit better.
So at the end of this game, we're going to take some time, as they switch pairs, we're going to take some time and introduce a little bit of our thoughts on youth bowling. We're going to talk a little bit about college bowling. We're going to talk about the recruiting process and how to prepare your child for college bowling, the differences between a youth tournament versus a college tournament. So we have a lot of exciting stuff in store. I'm looking forward to, again, interact with all of you and get some of your questions, particularly about college, youth bowling, and how to prepare your kids. So stay tuned. At the end of this game, we'll get right into that. A special shout out to my sister who is watching. That's Rochelle Smith. She's saying hello to both of us, so hello back to you. Thanks for tuning in.
Hope you're having a great day. And just finishing up his game was Efron Soto on lane 23. He's this year's U15 EYT Player of the Year. Looks like he came through at a 148, caught a few breaks, had a few splits it looks like, but never gave up and just trying to execute on this difficult pattern.
We got a couple of softballs coming up in Megan and Bailey. Nice it on the mixer there. Let's see if Megan can follow that up. So many great physical games out here. While we were on break, get to go up and down and see some of the other talent that's here, and it's just incredible, the coaching that is now available. It's really elevating all of the game of bowling, from youth to college to the professional level. You just see a huge improvement in how, it's awesome. There's 12-year-olds, there's 15-year-olds, 20-year-olds that are throwing the ball as if they're a professional. They're posting their shots, their hand positions are so good. They're so soft at the bottom of their arm swing. It's so crazy. You never would have seen this, this many talented bowlers in one center that are under the age of 20. This is awesome.
We were in youth bowling. It's incredible how far the sport's been growing and the technology to help advance the youth bowlers and better prepare them for the next level at every stage of their life. It's so much fun to watch, and they are taking full advantage of it.
Bailey is a current college bowler. She's big 4 on that one, but she battled back and got back to a 190 game there. I mean, again, another tough start with a couple of opens and a split at the start of the game, but that's the next level of mental toughness to get there, finish the game, settle yourself down, calm your emotions, your nerves, whatever is getting to your mind, and just to make good shots, find out what's going with the lane, and then she put together a couple of strikes and got to 190. I mean, those are the games that are going to save you as you get older.
Definitely. 190s are good. Definitely on a tougher pattern like this. As you can see, looking at the 3-game series up on the scoreboards, only 1/600 up there from Alex Acosta.
He had a great start with a 253 in his game 1 and 233 in game 2. So 192 was his low game. He's probably feeling a little bit, bummed about that one. But hey, he got a couple tough breaks at the start of the game, and he'll be right back at it, I'm sure.
Yeah, gotta have that short memory and bounce right back on it. Attack the next pair.
678 on this pattern is very good after 3 games.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's leading the squad right now.
Yeah, matter of fact, he was. All right, these guys are ready. They're not messing around. We're starting game 4 over here.
Hey Rafa, how's it going? Shout out to Rafa Pizarro. I was his coach for a little bit in college bowling, and he is a recent graduate of RMU this year. And he is selected for the Bolero tournament.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
No way.
So
That's awesome.
best
Good
of luck
Rob.
to him.
Yeah, take home the cash.
Bring it home.
Oh, that's
Bring
awesome.
home the gold.
Do you know when that's going on?
Not too sure.
Rafa, when's that happening? We all gotta tune in and watch that.
Yeah, that Bowler Elite Series against the pros.
Yeah, Luis Gonzalez, actually a Chicago native, won the first series of that.
Yeah, that was awesome to watch.
Amateurs versus pros, and the amateur took her down the pro.
See if Rafa can make it year 2. Keep the streak alive.
September 11th it starts, or it airs.
We wish you the best of luck. September 11th.
All right, we're closing out game number 3 here at the UIT. Let's jump into some of these topics that we were mentioning. So we want to talk again. We're going to talk about college bowling, recruiting process, how to prepare yourself for college, the difference between youth bowling and college bowling, and anything that we might think of in between there. So please drop any comments that you have, drop any questions that you do have about any of the topics that we're talking about. Let's go. So we want to start with?
Yeah, I mean, transition from high school to college bowling.
Okay, this is huge. This is it is truly black and white. I mean, it's the other side of the spectrum.
Yes.
Although there are a lot of great high school programs, I'm not sure if any high school program can compare to what college bowling is going to bring you. College bowling compared to high school bowling is, number one, it's a higher level.
Yeah, much more demanding.
You're going from the high school level where it's on the typical house shot, which is more forgiving. You're going to see higher scores. And you're going straight into challenge sport patterns. Very, very difficult. So you're going from a shot that you typically could average maybe a 200 or a 210, 220, 230 consistently, pretty easily. And you're going into an environment where a 190 average is going to put you in the top 10 sometimes.
Yeah, where you'll only see maybe 30, 40 kids averaging 205 and over in college, and that's being generous.
So I mean, there's so many aspects. I'll rattle off a few that are very different from high school to college, and then we can expand a little bit. So, as we mentioned, lane play is incredibly different. The coaching side of it, unless you're fortunate to have a great high school coach, your coaching is going to drastically improve. The amount of practice will, and the practice that you do is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
Hopefully better. Am I missing anything? Any thoughts?
No, I think, literally from high school, you're mostly practicing on house shots and maybe an occasional challenge pattern or maybe a sport pattern, but overall, you got a house shot where everyone's going to barely be able to have a solid look and score and really be anyone's game, in my opinion. It's just going to be who can carry the best some days.
And then you step into college bowling, and this is where you're competing against seniors, right? You're a freshman, they're seniors, they're 4 years older than you, and they've been bowling on this stuff for the last 4 years and practicing, and they've been going through the workouts and so on and so forth. It's a big eye opener. Number one, you're going away to school, perhaps, or if you're staying locally. But in either case, you're entering classes that you're not really sure what to expect. You're creating new relationships. You're meeting new people. It's just a whole new environment. It can be intimidating. However, if you take the time, if you choose your school to the best that you feel you'll fit with the current people, the current staff, the coaches, the location, you're going to have a great time. You're going to fit right in, and you're going to excel.
And I think the best piece of advice I can give with that transition is have an open mind. Be coachable. Let the coaches change your game, tweak your game. Not necessarily change it, but adjust it to the college level, because that will help you tremendously. I've seen a few college bowlers that came in their freshman year. They weren't open to it right away. They struggled for a good majority of the year or even the whole first year. And they really had to learn the hard way. And then they finally accept help and be more open to changing their style a little bit.
And that improvement is it's really awesome to see. I think a great testament to to an example of what college bowling can do to improve your game. I know a lot of junior gold bowlers who, before college bowling, would compete, and they were close to the first cut. Some of them weren't even close to like the top 200, and they were really struggling. They go to college, and after 1 year of bowling, they're in the top 60. Then they're in the top 30. And in some cases, after 2 years of college, if they're still eligible to bowl, I know the rules changing and everything, but they're in the top 10. They're making match play. From a once a bowler that really was struggling to grasp the game, to now, after 2 years of bowling in college, has made match play. I mean,
They're competing for a spot on Junior Team USA.
It's a great example. It's an every year, over and over occurrence that you will see, and I am positive. I will promise you that there will be more to come.
Oh yeah, and I'd say take full advantage of going to Junior Gold and stay youth as long as possible. Rack up the smart money and get that experience as much as you can, especially if you're in college bowling. Because that's only going to help you competing against all these hundreds and over 1,000 players, and you're going to be getting all that experience against all of them and how they're attacking the lanes.
So as college bowlers, a graduate of college bowling programs, I'll take it through like a typical day of a college bowler. Classes aside, so we'll stick with bowling. So we at McKendree, we had a lot of practices that were after the standard workday. So it allows for any coaches or graduate assistants and stuff that have other responsibilities during the day. We would practice about anywhere between 4 and 6 p.m. So we'd show up to practice. We all carpooled together, and a typical practice. I mean, we would start what we call no steps, one steps. So this is going straight to the foul line before you even throw a shot. We're loose and warmed up when we go to the foul line. We throw a couple of backup balls, we throw a couple of normal shots, and then we go to one step, and we follow the same regimen. It's best to work from the foul line backwards, especially when you're practicing to get better. After that, we would do various spare shooting drills. We would do various accuracy drills, which may include shooting a 10-pin, shooting a 10-pin, shooting the 3-6-10, shooting the 2-4-7, and in every case you have to 100% make it. So take the 10 straight back, take the 7 straight back, and that's really challenging. I mean, if you want your spare game to increase and your accuracy to increase, challenge yourself and say, I'm gonna, out of a full rack, take the 10 pin straight back, and do that maybe 3 circuits of that, and then it moves into physical game, learning about ball motions, learning about bowling balls, learning about just all the maybe mental games and things like that. So we would separate in groups and do a lot of teamwork, while maybe a coach pulled a couple players aside and it was more one-on-one, working on physical games. We had a lot of workouts as well. So typically in the morning, we did offer some later evening workouts as well, but fortunately at McKendree we had a trainer on campus. So we had a group workout in the mornings that we would attend, sometimes in the evenings if you weren't able to make the mornings, but I thought they were a lot of fun. They're very challenging. You're going to sweat, you're going to be exhausted, but that's where the team really builds camaraderie. I mean, we're out there giving it our all and pushing our bodies to the limit, and everyone is there with us. Yes. So workouts were a lot of fun and practice. So that's a typical day. We did have scheduled practices Monday through Thursday. Fridays were traveling days, and sometimes if it was a long weekend after a tournament, we would have Monday off. But typically Monday through Thursday, and you're bowling for about 2 hours a day. And you have your coach there with you every day, so yeah. At least at McKendree. I mean, it was the coaching staff did a great job. I mean, I know I improved a lot. I wouldn't be where I am today without going to McKendree. And not only McKendree, I know a lot of people,
College bowling in general.
College bowling in general. So I call out McKendree because I went there. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I bowled at Robert Morris University. Came straight out of high school there. And similar to you guys, we had mandatory practices Tuesday through Thursday. Had to be there by 2, and we could mandatory 2 to 4. And then Mondays were optional, Fridays were optional, but we'd have opportunity. Our coach, he helped run the bowling alley actually, so even when they were closed in the morning, if we got out of our morning classes early or our classes got canceled, we would shoot him a text or give him a call and, hey, are we able to come in? And he always said yes, as long as he was there. And so there's times where we'd get there at 10, 11 in the morning and we'd have to be there for those mandatory practices, but we'd leave for lunch or whatever, but come back. But it was great. There was a sophomore year where we were practicing a couple of nights. There's times we were there till 1 in the morning. And we were hungry, we wanted to win, and we had the whole team that would put in those crazy hours and drive together. And I don't regret it at all, not one bit. It was one of the best experiences I've had through that for the 4 years.
Yeah, that's a great point. The 1 a.m. practices, that sounds pretty crazy, but it wasn't. That's not what the coaches are making mandatory.
No, that's our choice.
It's all a choice, and that's when you're with a team of bowlers that want to win and be successful, and as a group, you'll go to all lengths, and that's what it takes to be a champion. I think Diandra will attest to that as well. I know she spent many hours early in the morning, late at night, in the bowling alley, practicing. And yeah, you don't want to overexhaust the physical game and everything, you have to spend time on mental game, which is really a new facet that is being seen and taught a lot more in the college game. There's a lot of mental game activities that programs will run. It's so important. If you were to take a poll on how much of the game is mental versus how much of the game is physical, I mean, it's well over 50%. It's going to be like 80% mental and 20% physical, because you can have the greatest physical game in the world, but if you don't have a mental game to support that, you're competing against the pins, and the pins are the hardest competitor that they're going to give you everything that you can handle. And if you can't handle, a wrap 10 pin, if you can't handle when you get a stone 8 pin, your physical game is not going to bring you to that next level. You have to have a mental game to compete with the best.
Exactly. You gotta have that short memory. Yes, bad break. You're gonna be frustrated, but you do have to move on. Forget about it. Know you made a good shot. Go back up there the next frame. Make another great shot and move forward. You can't dwell on bad breaks or bad shots too long. You gotta learn from them and move on.
And that's something that these bowlers today are going to learn at the UIT, but again, in college bowling. And it's it's going to be a huge learning process for these youth bowlers that decide to bowl college. You're not going to throw a strike every single frame, and you're going to have days where you're off and you're really going to be frustrated. You're gonna see the highest of highs and lowest of lows, and but it's a great experience overall. And it really gets you ready, I would say, for the next step in life. I mean, everyone wants to land a job outside of college. That's typically the goal of going to college with the incentive of bowling. So it prepares you for the real world. It's not going to be easy in the real world.
You got to work hard and earn everything you get.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever given.
But just through all of that, I mean, the values that are gained, the experiences that these youth bowlers are going through, the skills that they're improving, not only bowling skills, but socializing,
life skills,
networking. That they don't even know this yet, but they're making friends and they're making connections that may help them 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
I never thought, what do we mean? When we were 13 years old?
Yeah, 13, 14 years old.
And now we're sitting here 13 years later.
Yeah.
And we're commentating a youth tournament. Now, this is...
I never saw that coming.
I never would have thought, oh, hey, Mason, I'm 13-year-old. Let's make a connection.
Yeah. No, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you at this tournament. That was my thought.
So, just it's really invaluable.
Yeah, now here we are working together.
So how can these youth bowlers, I touched a little bit on practice of what college bowling does, but how do you think a youth bowler could best prepare themselves to be ready for college?
Best prepare themselves? I'd say, like I said earlier, it's when a college coach, they're looking for great attitudes. They're not looking for a hothead who's going to be throwing temper tantrums on maybe abusing the equipment at the bowling center chairs, the ball returns, the typical stuff you see in a league.
It's a big no-no.
And that's definitely a big turnoff. And the attitude is one. Coachability. You got to have an open mind. If you're practicing and you're not comfortable, that's a good thing. Getting outside your comfort zone is huge. Because the more you're outside your comfort zone, the more you learn to deal with it. And that expands your game that much more. And I know that's definitely something I look forward to or look in youth bowlers when I was recruiting.
Yeah, you spent some time on the coaching side of it, and you still are spending some time on the coaching side. So you've kind of seen directly what you're on the other side of the fence. You were trying to get recruited at one point. Now you're being recruited.
Yeah. So
now you are recruiting. Excuse me.
Yeah, I was, and I mean that's a whole different ball game in itself. I mean, coaching and then there's recruiting. And recruiting, you look at every aspect of the game. Strengths, weaknesses, you talk with them, get their idea, their thought processes on how they're attacking the lanes. Talk with their parents. I mean, parents, once they get to college, even in high school, once they get any kind of coach where it's through a school or program, parents are going to have to learn how to let go a little, let them fly on their own.
Yeah, parents probably hate us right now for that one.
That's all right.
But we're not sorry.
No, we're being honest. Yeah, might not agree with the coaches or anything, but it's a decision you and mainly your kid made to agree to go to this college and listen to this coach.
Yeah,
And,
there are circumstances, yeah.
yeah, and
You know, if it's not a good situation, get yourself out of it. We're not saying that.
yeah, but don't bring it up at mid-tournament. Let the tournament run its course. After the weekend's over, talk with the coach one-on-one. Don't make a scene. So definitely looking at not just the athletes, but the parents as well. If they're going to be a good fit into the family, really. And that plays a huge role. I've talked to multiple coaches, and they'll tell you the same thing. Maybe not in public or online, but a lot of coaches do say they look into everything that goes into the kid.
Yeah, and you just said a key word that I just had a great thought of, online. Social media and the online presence that all these youth bowlers, I would say, I think a lot of them have it. You know, from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter to Snapchat. Yeah. It's surprisingly, coaches do look and see what's going on because it's out there. It's public information. If you're a youth bowler and you're posting some rude or inappropriate stuff on social media, that's not something that they're going to look at to bring to your program.
Yeah, because you're going to be representing not only the school, yourself, your family, but the whole program in general and what they stand for. And if you're being disrespectful all over social media, coaches aren't going to want that to be part of their program and reflect on them.
Yeah, I know a lot of situations, you hear about it kind of in the news of these, you know, professional players that people are finding social media content from 5 years ago, 10 years ago maybe, and it's
Comes back to bite you.
Comes back to bite you. You know, so really, you just got to be smart about it. You just have to make the right decision. At the end of the day, it's will your it's in the workplace. I think, you know, if I post this, will my manager be okay with this, or will be upset? And then will my mother be okay with this, or will she be upset?
My grandma gonna like it, or
It's kind of that check, you know. Is this going to?
Always think twice before posting on social media. You gotta be careful. Yeah. So.
All right, here we go. Standings. Standings after game 3. We'll run it back. We'll start from the bottom and then go up. So in the U12 mixed division, we have a great set from Gavin Murray. He had a 589, so that's minus 11. We go plus minus based off of a 200 average. Great start from Gavin. So through 3 games, 589. The next closest is Roman Kaporal from Pennsylvania at 440. And the following 3 that would be in the top 5 step ladder is Zane Shacknancy, Lilia Williams, Josh Luke Weems.
All right, then for the U15 boys, in first place we have Landon Jordan from Sycamore, Illinois. He's leading at 566. And then in second place we got Kyle Pranger from Muskegon, Michigan, who put together a 538 series. And the following 3 are Aiden Kaufman from Elwood, Indiana, Caden Pranger from Muskegon, Michigan, and Donovan Lake from Carroll Stream, Illinois at 500.
So your cut for the U15 is 500 on the nose.
Yes.
All right.
And then we got for the U15 women, in first place we have Karina Capron from Fremont, Nebraska, leading at 506. Savannah Dixon from Round Lake, Illinois at 501 for second place. Gianna Brandolino from Shanahan, Illinois is at 500 for third. And then Jenna Hedgeporth from Murfreesboro, Tennessee And Abigail Starkey from Schaumburg, Illinois, rounding out the top 5 at 478.
478. So that's a very close. We have the next closest spot is at 472, and below that is 469. So there's a couple bowlers within 10 pins of each other, and that could do a lot of flip-flopping.
Currently a tight race to make that cut.
It is. I have another tight race here in the girls U20 division. Leading for the girls is Jillian Martin. Very familiar name, as we all are aware. She shot a 607, so a plus 200 average there. Following that is Barbara Lunsford at a 555. Rounding out the top 5 here, we have Kaylee Bass, Gemma Skewers, and Megan Colburn. Interestingly enough, here the 3 through 4 is separated by exactly 1 pin.
Oh man, that is a tight race.
So your cut for the U20 girls again after 3 games is 540. Moving on to the guys, we have some pretty impressive scores here. The highest of the entire tournament and leading the U20 boys is Alex Acosta. He's from Bolingbrook, Illinois. He shot a 678, so we just saw him on live stream grind out that 192 game, and it kept him in the loop. Adir Zerwarski from Woodstock, Illinois follows him in second place at 626. 2 pins behind him is Brandon Caruso. And then 4th place is Cameron Crow, who we saw in game 2, who fired a 240 game. He's at plus 19. And your cut line for the U20 boys is Amir Lawrence at 582. Not too far behind that are a couple bowlers within 20 and 30 pins. So
looks like we're going to have some tighter finishes at the end of this squad.
Yeah, 3 games in. We have 3 games in. Some pairs are finished up their 4th game, so we're moving to game 5. Exciting. A lot of opportunity for flip-flopping. But keep in mind, this is a 5-game format today. And at 1:30, we're coming back for 5 more games. And then tomorrow, 5 more games after that.
So, and match play.
And then match play. We have a lot of bowling ahead of us. Really looking forward to it. We've had a lot of good talent come through on our TV pairs. And we'll get some names of who will be coming in next. And continue this. We're having a great time. We're having fun.
Yeah. And like we've stated before, the winners are competing for a one-of-a-kind champions EYT High Five jersey. And they also get their Storm Ball of choice. And for the runner-ups, they're going to get a little prize pack from Turbo with a bunch of accessories in there.
What are some of the accessories that they might get?
We got a puffball, the accessory bag itself, some Turbo patches, and insert tape and thumb tape that they can all use. All free.
So although the winner will be a little upset about the loss, they get a consolation prize.
Might be a little sour about it, but I don't think they'll be too upset with taking the trophy home.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about Jillian Martin, how she's leading the women's side of it on the U20 division. She's an outstanding bowler. She actually made Team USA this year at Junior Gold.
For the U20 team.
For the U20 team. And she is actually classified as U15. So she is bowling above and beyond all of expectations for her age break. We'll check if we're going to get to see her on live stream. The bowlers are moving 4 pairs to the right after each game. It's a pretty big jump, but we are using 1 through 40 today. The guys and girls are intermingled between each other, and it ranges anywhere from a U12 bowler to a U20 bowler. They could be on the same pair. Gives the kids a lot of interaction with people that might not be their exact age, and an opportunity to learn. Just on the pair, on the pair of live stream, we have a couple of U12 bowlers mixed with a couple of U20 bowlers. I'm sure the U12 bowlers are really enjoying this time to watch the older peers and enjoy learning from them. a fun award that Jason Belmonte sponsors is the Sportsmanship Award. This is voted on by all of the bowlers themselves. So at their little check-in table that we have, they can write in their votes and choose who is the best sportsmanship.
Yeah, and I've already seen a few drop their names off in the box today for voting. They have until the end of qualifying tomorrow to drop their names off for the Sportsmanship Award. And I'm pretty sure right at the end of the tournament, or either that or at the qualifying. Is it at the qualifying?
I think, yeah, shortly after that, yeah.
They'll announce the Sportsmanship Award and present them with that pretty cool trophy.
And along with that, they get a free bowling ball given to them by Jason.
So, being a great sport never hurts.
It pays off. And I love the promotion that Jason has given the youth. But it's so important. As you mentioned, for college bowling, you want to be a great sportsman. You want to have a great mental game. You want to be a great peer to your team and your competitors. No sore losers and things along those lines. So the fact that he promotes a great sportsman is in itself a great award.
Definitely doing some great things for the bowling community.
Yeah.
And especially the Elite Youth Tour tournament.
Promoting good attitude, promoting positive bowling environment.
And that's
We
what
all
I
want that.
really like about this tournament as well. Diandra and Jason, they're very strict on it being a great sport. If there's kids coming back and abusing the bowling alleys, chairs, tables, or ball returns, there is a no tolerance for that. You will be disqualified depending on how severe your actions are.
Would you have been disqualified back in the day?
Maybe when I was 9 or 10, but I learned real quick.
I could say the same.
But no, I learned real quick not to be like that. My parents made sure I learned that one. I'm sure that was embarrassing for them when I would have those outbreaks.
Oh yeah. They would say I looked like a fool and I was embarrassing myself. And
yeah, I remember the one time they pointed out another kid at a different tournament, a
Oh,
later
yeah.
date, and they're like, "That's what you look like," and that really put into perspective. Like, I don't want to present myself like that.
and it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And especially for the parents, you know. That's and as we moved into the adult world and now we're watching youth bowling, it's very apparent. Like, hey, this guy's got a pretty good attitude. This other person might not, and so I'm glad that he promotes that. And
Yes.
I would say, as a whole, this youth tournament, if you were to come in here and you had no idea how old these bowlers were, I mean, they act professional.
Oh yeah, they act well above their ages. Whether they're from, I know we got a 6-year-old here, and all the way up to a 20-year-old. I mean, they all act above their age, and they're all having a great time.
It's so important. Can't stress that enough.
No.
And not even, I mean, it's just in life in general. I don't care if you're bowling. I don't care what you're doing. You have to be respectful to your peers. So
Yes.
it's a great learning experience for all these youth bowlers.
Yeah, and if you walk away with a few prizes and a trophy at the end of it, never a bad thing.
A good incentive to be nice.
Yeah.
Although it does cost $0 to be nice. So.
Correct.
All right, game 5 here. Game 5. Game 5 on the short pattern, 35 feet. Challenging. We haven't seen too many high scores. There are a couple bowlers that are excelling on this pattern, but it's challenging.
Yeah, I mean, after 3 games, not many people averaging 200 or better. Yeah, less than 10 definitely.
Yeah. And again, that's
And
no fault to the boys at all. We're not saying that they're bowling bad. They're bowling very well
This
for
is
the
a
conditions that they're given.
very demanding pattern, and
Very hard.
some great shots are being made. Spares are huge, especially on this pattern.
Spares are crucial, and that's you look at a score and you total it together. A 160 game could have been possibly a 200 game, or 190 if they make 2 or 3 more spares.
Yeah.
That's just it's a big difference. All right, who do we have bowling on our lanes 23, our right pair here? Give us a second, we'll give you some names. Paige Rawlings is stepping up on lane 23. Also on that pair is Donovan Lake, and then following Paige will be Gabe Maja Wick. On the right lane is Will Solomon and Jade Oki?
Hope we didn't murder that one.
Oh boy. That's the first thing I thought. Jade, oh no.
We're sorry.
No, we should get all the pronunciations. You know. How do you pronounce that?
Please help us.
That should be in the form that the parents and the bowlers fill out. Give me the dictionary of how to.
And over on lanes 21 and 22, on the left lane we have Ethan Caruso, Leanne Stevens, Amir Lawrence. Then on lane 22, we have Adir Zarowski and Zoe Peoni.
Solid work. Solid work.
Tried. I hope I didn't butcher those ones too bad. But we'll see what they got to close out this short pattern. I know the short patterns can get pretty tricky towards the end of a block with all the oil being burnt up, and a lot of the players are playing the same part. Whether it's urethane pushing the oil down lane and not quite getting the read down lane, or if they're using reactive, it could be checking up and read early and burning up, not quite doing what they expect.
Okay, so you bring up some interesting points there. Let's break it down a little bit for everyone. You talked about urethane, you talked about reactive. How would you break down a little bit of urethane play, pushing it down, and then reactive is going to cause oil to break down. So, can you add on that?
Yeah, the urethane typically pushes the oil down lane past the end of the pattern. So when you're using your reactive ball, that oil gets pushed down and you might not get a true read like you did on the fresh. So you got to adjust and take some hand out or point it a little bit better.
So exactly, yeah, the urethane ball will push oil down lane, whereas the reactive ball will actually absorb oil.
Yep.
So we have this kind of contradicting effect where some bowlers are pushing oil down lane, so the pattern's getting longer, and some bowlers are taking oil off the lane, so the pattern's getting shorter and drier, which means the ball's going to hook more. So you have this conflicting scenario in some lanes where if someone's throwing more reactive, if someone's throwing more urethane, it's really a guess.
Yeah, it definitely becomes a little more squirrely and unpredictable towards the end of the pattern or the days.
Yeah. So I mean, the question is, how do you deal with that? So imagine you're bowling here game 5. You're on 21 and 22. You haven't started yet. You're coming in, and let's just say there's been a lot of urethane thrown on 21 and 22. What would you expect?
To throw my urethane ball.
add to the urethane?
Yeah, do my best. No, it's definitely tricky. You gotta pick up on the pattern on your first 1, 2, 3 shots at most, then make the adjustments as best as you can, because otherwise you're gonna be guessing, and you gotta go up there, throw a confident shot, know you made a confident shot.
Yeah, I would expect with more urethane, obviously we talked about the oil is going to carry down, so you're not going to get that true back end reaction that you may have gotten on the last pair. It's going to be tighter down lane, as we like to call it, tighter down lane. It's not going to be as true on the back end, and you might have to move. You might have to move a little bit right to get the ball to come up on the head pin a little bit harder. or you might have to change bowling balls. It's going to see a little bit. It's going to react a little bit harder where there's more oil.
Yeah, so it's definitely getting harder as they go along today, on this pattern especially.
So I'm really excited here on lane 21 and 22. We have Amir Lawrence, who I was watching down on the end. He's actually in the top 5 for the U20 division currently. Throws it very well. I was very impressed with his physical game, so looking forward to see him. And then Adir Z. I'm not going to go with his full last name, but he throws the ball great. He's wearing a Judson University shirt today, so some type of affiliation, I would assume.
Yeah, they got some great coaching over there with Vince Biondo, the whole Biondo family helping out, and I'm sure he's learned a lot since he's been there or been working with them.
Yeah, so we got some good talent coming in. I'm looking forward to this. Here we go. Jade has 4 in a row.
There we go. Definitely a rough start, but that's why you just can't give up and work till you find it.
Another battle. I mean, through four frames, she had 40. And now with 4 frames, she's perfect.
So she might have ran into a little bit of that transition we were talking about, and she seems to have adjusted properly, and she's making those shots.
Yeah. Very cool. Here on 21 is Ethan Caruso. Two-handed style. He's got to fade out. Lane play, he said, Riley and Mason, watch this.
Yeah. No questions asked on that one.
There we go, we got some of Jade's family in here.
Love to see the support.
Love the support.
He seems to have figured this pattern out pretty well. He's shot the 626 his first 3, 250 to start the day. So he seems to be throwing that purple hammer urethane ball.
Oh, that's a great start. 251, and then must have lost a little bit after game 2. He shot to 171, and then he battled back for 203 or 204. So we're here in game 5, and started with a good 9 spare. It seems like he is confident in the lane change, and we should see a little bit more of that, a little more 200 here. So here comes Amir. I'm excited for you guys to see his physical game. It's very impressive.
Diandra, please come to the restaurant. Diandra, please come to the restaurant.
Insider information about lane play here. We just had a coach stop by and told us that there's a lot of urethane being used, a lot of urethane in play. So as we mentioned, with urethane you're going to get pushed down, and he's noticing some people try to move a little bit left. However, a short pattern is not compliant with people moving left. It makes a lane, one shot will go very long and it won't hook. One shot will hook immediately, and it just becomes very inconsistent, makes it very hard. So what he is instructing his players to do now is get as close to the gutter as he can. And reason being, boards 1, 2, and 3 have the least amount of oil on it. So if you do get it towards 1, 2, and 3, there you go. Just like easy, making it look easy, striking on lane 21. Get as close to the gutter as you can to avoid all of this wishy-washy urethane play that's been coming in. And that's just what easy's make it look easy.
It definitely is. And it'll be fun to watch him and Amir go at it. They're both in the top 5 after 3 games. So
yeah.
It'll be fun to see how they both attack the lanes. There's only 35 pins or so separating them at that point already. And they've been following and bowling with each other all 3-4 games. So
yeah. I wonder if they're probably communicating, bouncing maybe some ideas off each other.
watching each other very closely.
Yeah, at the very least, they're watching each other. No doubt. Amir is a past champion, and he's supporting that champion gear right now with his high five jersey. Brendan Caruso, who just fired a shot on lane 20, was also a past champion. Oh, excuse me, Ethan Caruso, past champion.
They both are.
Oh, they both are. Yeah. There you go.
They got some good bowling genes in that family.
That's right. There's an interesting PBA washout lead on lane 22. Let's see how he attacks this. So Mason, we talked a little bit about the transition of youth to college bowling. If anybody has any questions, if you may have missed any of our conversation about youth and college bowling, please, if you're a parent or if you're a youth bowler or interested in bowling college or any of those aspects, please drop a question in the comments. Let us know if you have any recommendations or any questions, and we'll be happy to help. Mason and I both bowled in college for 4 years on varsity teams, and we went through the whole process, so we'd be happy to help you and share. But as we transition, we go from youth to college to the adult life, and we go into the adult bowling scene. What do you suggest, from your experience, transitioning from youth to adult? Should they do it? When should they do it? When or why?
It all depends. I mean, the colleges and everything with all the rules, whether you're NCAA, NAIA, or club, or none of the above. I mean, some schools, like Wichita, they strictly compete for the ITC Intercollegiate Team Championship. They don't go to the NAIA tournament. They're not going to the NCAA tournaments or competing. They're solely focusing on that big tournament where the clubs, the NAIs, the NCAAs, every team there, the best of the best are there competing for them, and that's what they want. So it really depends on the school you pick, because that plays a big role in it. With NAIA teams, I know that's a new sport this last season in the NAIA, and they have some rules on how much money you can win and sponsorships on certain balls for players. And you're talking top players getting those deals. So I think if I try staying youth as long as possible. That's what I tell a lot of the kids I help out coaching, because it's just going to help you in the long run, all the experience. And you only get to be a youth one time. Yes. So you have your whole life to be an adult bowler. My recommendation is be a youth bowler as much as you can, as long as you can. Because you're not going to be able to ever experience that again.
I think I definitely agree with you on that. And if I may add, the only exception that I would put out there is if your child, if your youth bowler is just no doubt the very, very best youth bowler, then it is possible to go adult a little sooner than the norm. Now, I say that with caution because I still believe that every youth bowler should exhaust their youth career and stay youth as long as I can. Because when it goes to the adult world, it's a really big change. I mean, you're competing against bowlers that have been bowling their entire life. There's people that have been bowling for 40 years, for 30 years, for 60 years. Yes, it's exciting. It's an exciting new time when you want to go adult. But gain as much experience as you can in the youth community, in the youth bowling. You have the rest of your life to go adult.
Yeah, only like the 1% get to, I would recommend. You gotta be top of the top. You gotta dominate at every level you've been at, and really, you don't have anything else to prove. And those players, even then I say maybe.
Right.
So it's definitely a different ball game at the adult level.
A good example is Wesley Lowe. He exhausted his entire youth career, and I would consider him one of the top. He was the cream of the crop.
Yeah, he was one of the 1%, and he still chose to stay as long as he did.
Yep. And a good incentive is that you can win smart money. So if anyone's not aware, you can get smart money. It's SMART, and it's a scholarship fund. So if you compete in an adult tournament, you can still maintain your youth status and win money in adult tournaments. So you win $500, you can save that and put it towards scholarship, towards college scholarships. So it's a great incentive. All right, standing update. How about that?
Start with the U12.
Let's do it.
Mixed division.
After game 4.
Yep, so for game 4, leading in boys, or for U12 is Gavin Murray with a 769. And second place, 614, Roman Karapor. 613 is Luke Switowski. And the cut for that currently is 552, and there's 3 players that are within 30 pins of that. So another tight race right there.
Awesome.
And then for the U15 girls division, leading is Gianna Brandolino at 689, Savannah Dixon at 662, Jenna Hedgepath in 3rd place at 653, and in 5th place the cut's at 644. That's Karina Capron. And it looks like a pretty tight race. All the way down to 10th place is 600, so you're only looking 44 pins right there.
Yeah, that's great. And there, with so many games left, really nobody's out of it.
Yeah, nothing's ever promised. And then in the U15, we got Landon Jordan leading at 773, Aiden Kaufman 731, Kyle Pranger at 702. 5th place is at 679 with Judd Barron and Caden Pranger tied for 4th and 5th. And just outside of there is 677, so a couple pins back from the cut.
Oh yeah, we're in a tight race again.
Still tight in there.
Okay. Now I'll bring you the girls U20 scores. Jillian Martin is leading at 777, followed by Megan Kohlberg. In 3rd place is Brooklyn Gagnon. In 4th place is Barbara Lunsford. And the cut line right now is 689. And that is Renelle Yolande. Interesting. Wow, look at this. We have a 688, that's the cut line. Or sorry, 689, the cut line. And then a bowler at 688, a bowler at 687, 686, and 674. You talk about tight race.
Doesn't get much tighter than that.
That's a pin separation.
That's a pin count on a split.
That is, and another point, that is huge. When you have a huge split up there, you can't get mad and just fire it. You have to think and get count. Because 2 pins after a strike is actually 4. I mean, it's make the cut, miss the cut.
It's right there, it shows you.
I know, proof in the pudding right there. U20 boys, some high scores. This is really impressive. Alex Acosta, after that 192 game, goes 217, and he's leading at 895. He's going really well today. Cameron Crowe, who we saw on our live stream, is at 858. Adir Zaworski, who is on our live stream currently, and you'll see him throw his 10-pin right now, 821. So he's in 3rd place. He's battling. Brendan Caruso, I mentioned him. He's a previous winner. He's at 802. And in 5th place, Noah Blessing, another familiar name out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He's at 774. Not too far out from that is Amir Lawrence, who's stepping up right now on lane 21. He's within 30 pins of the cut, so a lot of good scores from this boys U20. That one hurts.
Yeah. Looks like he's been struggling with a couple single pin misses early on here, so hopefully he can recover from that tough break on the 9 pin and spare it up.
They say the bowling gods will not reward you of a good break until you cover that 9 spare.
Yep, so he's definitely due for that.
I bet you he makes the spare, he's going to catch a couple breaks coming up.
Yep. Time will tell.
So it's coming up on lunchtime here after this game 5. We're going to have a break until 1:30, 2 o'clock is when practice will be. And we're going to be back for 5 more games. The next pattern is going to be long, and it's going to be another good challenge. I think the scoring pace will be a little bit higher than what we see right now, but all these bowlers are going to grab some food, rest up a little bit, and we're going to be back for 5 more games of bowling. I mean, this is 10 games in one day. This is really fatiguing.
Yeah, it's
mentally
a long day. It's definitely good practice to prepare yourself for the next level mentally.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we didn't touch on that at all. College bowling, you're going to be in a bowling alley from 7 a.m., 8 a.m. until 4 or 5 p.m.
Yeah, depending if there's a lane breakdown, even longer.
Oh yeah, I mean you're there for hours and hours, and you're bowling every single game. You don't get that nice hour break in between blocks.
And if you've never experienced a college tournament, kids aren't sitting down. You're standing the whole time. So this is definitely a great warm-up and preparation for college bowl.
Yeah, you're bowling typically in a college format. You bowl 6 games of individual games, so you'll have 5 bowlers on a lane from each team. And 6 games, I mean, we're bowling 5 games today in one block. So we'll bowl 6 games in college, and it takes a lot longer. We have 5 bowlers on a lane, and they are meticulous.
Oh, for college, yes.
In college, and they take a lot of time. They're analyzing, they're making moves. It takes a lot of time. So this is really good preparation.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's nice that there's only 5 on a pair, so this tournament helps go by a little quicker. But put on 10 games, that's you're experiencing it.
Yeah,
if not, maybe a little more today.
Yeah, and another fun thing that college tournaments do is it's what's called a Baker format. So this is when each bowler bowls 2 frames in one game. So these go a lot faster. It's a lot more. It's high pace. It's a lot higher energy. Usually more interaction between the bowlers. And this is so one bowler will bowl 2 frames. For example, the first frame and the 6th frame, the 2nd frame and the 7th frame, and so on. So it's a lot faster. But typically, I mean, you're bowling like 16 to 24 games, and that's going to take forever. Between that and your individual games, it's a long time. Yeah. Tough break on that 4-9 there.
Yeah, another great shot.
That might have been my first announcer's curse.
Yeah.
And I apologize.
You are fully responsible for that one.
Amir, I owe you an apology. I'll come up to you afterwards.
I'd have to grab my cookie.
I said he was going to get a break after that 9th spare, and he 4-9. Come on. Oh, make it. Oh.
Just good. Here's a deer again, looking to double up on his last shot.
Yeah, 8 split in the third frame and 8-1 where he took off the 10 pin. Sometimes those easy spares are a mental block. We keep coming back to it, but I mean, how many times have these athletes shot at spares? Multiple times. And I'm sure if you were to shoot that, nice shot there, good battle, and he shows some emotion. I like it. I like it.
He's here to win. He
Right.
wants it.
He knows where he's at. He knows where he sits. These are some big shots here. I'm sure he's in a good situation. He's doing very well in this block. Who knows what's to come? So, you know, if he can close out a couple of strikes here, this is going to give him a good cushion for the next block. And if he doesn't have his best block for the next 5 games, he'll still be in good position because of his very good short block. Another 9 pin. My deepest apologies. Yeah, but sometimes you're shooting spares. It's so common that, oh, it's a 9 pin, it's a 10 pin. I've shot this so many times before. You just go up there, you grab your ball, and you just fire away. And next thing you know, the pin's still standing. It's a mental block. You have to still go through your pre-shot routine, be aware of what's going on, let the bad break or whatever is in your mind go, and focus on the task at hand.
Yeah, definitely take as much time on your second shot as you do on your first. If not, a little bit more. You got to really focus on those because spares are what win the game.
Yes.
Strikes help out a lot, but without spares, it's ugly.
And a lot of these kids are still improving their spare game. They're still trying to figure out, you know, where do I stand for a certain pin? Where, you know, what's the best hand position? Or they're learning hand positions. They might have previously hooked at a spare and now they're trying to go straight at it. So it's a big learning curve, and the hardest thing, Mason, I'll tell you, is practicing and then applying it to a tournament condition.
Yeah.
That is hard.
So hard to practice it all week or for weeks, and then you can go back to your old habits in tournament because that's what's comfortable.
Yeah,
you gotta just trust the process.
You have the scores are on. You're thinking, oh, if I miss this 2 pin, well, it's a missed spare. I've been practicing throwing straight, but right now it matters. I want to hook at it. You have that little doubt in your mind, and you know that's the hardest part.
That's the
but
thing.
you got to get over that
You
edge.
have that doubt. You have to know it's a good shot. You've got to know you're making that confident shot.
That was a confident shot, making it look easy.
Yeah, speaking of confident shots, right there, another one from easy. All right. Let's see if you can kick that 9 out here.
I'm sending positive vibes. Positive vibes here. He's got a great ball reaction. A lot of back end, which is causing these 9 pins at the 4-9. A lot of back end, but he's got a good ball reaction. I think he knows what he's doing. We'll see if he maybe makes a bump a little bit left.
Keeping it in play. It's just he's not catching those breaks.
Possibly a little bit too much rotation on that. It's getting the ball down lane a little too far. So a lot of our pairs are finishing up game 5. We'll hopefully present some standings to you. We'll try to get them on the EYT Facebook so everyone's aware of what's going on. We won't leave you high and dry. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in today. Really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. EYT appreciates the support. Without the viewers, without the parents and the supporters of this tournament in bowling, it wouldn't be possible. Bowling's really, in the youth community, it's really coming up. It's awesome. We have 40 lanes here, 115 bowlers. This is awesome.
And it's growing. That's the best part.
Oh yeah, easy.
He's in it.
Giving us some extra flair on that shot. I like it. I'd be interested to see what happens if he gets the 10th frame.
Yeah, big Big first shot.
Think we'll see a cartwheel or something?
I can only hope so.
Oh yeah. If he does a cartwheel, I'm doing a cartwheel with him.
I'm holding you to that.
So as our viewers are tuning in right now, I'd like to get any comments that you have about the first block. Maybe if you had any thoughts of if you've been here the whole time, or if you've watched kind of extensively for these 5 games, or if you're brand new. Do you have any questions? If you just tuned in, do you have any questions on start times or what we've just gone through? Drop them in the comments. We love interaction. If you have anybody that you're supporting in particular, give them a shout out. We can update the standings. If you have a particular player that's in mind, we can tell you what place they're in and everything like that. So the pattern today, it was made by John Janowitz out of Kegel in Florida. He designed a 35-foot pattern. It's a short pattern, and it's a 1.5 to 1 ratio. So it's playing hard. You have to be close to the gutter. And if you play inside, you're really hit or miss. So, 35 feet, designed by JJ. One of the best.
Oh yeah, by far. And he's made Team USA multiple times. A veteran of the game.
And if you're interested, if you want to see the full layout of the pattern today, and also the next 2 patterns that we'll be bowling on, tune in or search EYT, Elite Youth Tour, on the web, and search by this tournament, the Battle Royale, and then it'll show you each pattern. So you'll have the full layout. You can get all the units of oil, the loads if you're looking for that, and all the specifics, the shape of the pattern. And this one was pretty flat. This is the flattest pattern that they're going to see today. By flat, I mean it's the shape of the pattern. So if you look at a lane graph, you're going to see a lot more volume in the middle versus lower volume on the outside. That is shape. If the pattern doesn't have a lot of volume in the middle and it's consistent with the volume on the outside, that's a flat pattern. And this is one of the flatter ones, so it's very demanding. Natasha, I appreciate the shout out. I remember you had mentioned the Mitchell brothers are out here. Wonder if we can get
where they're at in the standings.
Yeah, I wonder. So I believe it's Theron Mitchell. He's currently in 32nd in the boys U20 division. He shot 598 for 4 games, and he's already finished his 5th game. So scores will be updated after this. And then Brandon Mitchell, he's coming in at 45th place for the boys U20, and he had 446 for his first 4 games. It's a great layout here at Stardust. All 40 lanes that we're using right now, and they have monitors around here that are giving active score updates. So if you're a bowler or a spectator, you're getting a very recent update on scores. And this is going to wind us down to our final shot on live stream. Amir will top it off. Hopefully he can give me a strike here. There's a question how Joss Week is doing. Let's take a look.
Joss is currently sitting in 6th place after 4 games and Game 5 should be updated shortly on our Facebook page.
Yeah, he was only 2 pins away from the top 5. So the cut today is the top 5 in each division. 552 was 5th place. And
4th place.
Oh, and 4th place, so there's a tie. And then Joss was at 550 in 6th. He's right on the bubble.
Yep, he's fighting for that spot. As one of the younger competitors at this weekend's tournament.
I got to watch Joss week a little bit, and I mean that is awesome. I think he's maybe I heard he was 6 or so years old. I mean that guy, I love it. He's so happy, and I know he's got some supporters here helping him out, but he is having the time of his life. He's a great bowler, you know, two-handed, great attitude. It's been a pleasure to watch him, honestly. I hope we get to see him on one of the live streams coming up.
Lila Williams, she's also in the U12. She is currently sitting tied for 4th, 5th place at that 552 we were talking about. So she is currently in the cut.
Yeah, we'll get these Game 5 summaries to you as soon as possible, so y'all keep updated. Please do stay tuned for our next broadcast, which is going to be the long pattern, 5 more games, more of the same. It's going to be very different than the short pattern, though. So we'll see a little bit of a adjustment in lane play. We're going to see more bowlers coming through. They're doing the 4-lane skip, so 4-pair skip, so we're going to see a lot more bowlers come through. That is going to start at 2 p.m. Central Time. So please do tune in again, and we look forward to the rest of the day with you guys, and it's been a blast so far. It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you after this break.
I got yours already, right? Food?
I did. Thank you, sir.
Food's up. I don't know what you guys got, so.
Somewhere back there?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's the reason why.